All right, we'll just blast off real quick. Not anything too significant going on here, so I'm obviously going to dive right into it. ICE shoots bystander in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Only days after, weeks after, only week after slopaganda video causes admin to send ICE causes video gets Trump to what the fuck? Oh, Trump to deploy ICE. God damn it! There's a fucking little gnat or a fly right in front of me. I want to kill it, but I can't. U.S. seizes Russian tanker. EU cuck to Trump. EU scrambles to find anti-occupation position after supporting Israel / Venezuela over Greenland. Get in now. U.S. sanctions never make it to newsprint. I wonder why. Yeah. Perhaps there's a reason for it. Perhaps it's because it's propaganda. Okay. All right. We're blasting off and we're going right into it. I'm considering getting into political science, but I keep asking myself, is it worth getting into politics at this point? I just feel like everything is so fucked up. There's not a lot of point in trying to make it better. There's always a point in trying to make it better. You don't really need a political science degree to go out and get elected into local office or anything like that, for the record. But it's not the worst thing to do. I mean, you will be surrounded in a poli-sci degree. If you're in here, you are going to be surrounded by a lot of people that have the exact opposite worldview of you. You're going to be consistently positioned against your worldview. They're going to teach you everything from an incredibly Western framework, incredibly pro-West framework, but you'll be able to sift through all of that nonsense. All right. We're going directly to the ICE shooting that took place in Minneapolis that left a bystander dead. ICE shot a woman in Minneapolis just yesterday. 2,000 extra agents were flooded into the city, and the Department of Homeland Security celebrated it with a shitty little post that they always do, where they were like, oh yeah, fuck around and find out. Good morning, Minneapolis. Like good morning, Vietnam. DHS tweeted this yesterday, a little more than 24 hours. ICE agents just shot and killed a legal observer in Minneapolis. What ended up happening was, and there's plenty of eyewitness videos on the scene. We're obviously going to watch it. The video is gruesome, even though it's not graphic technically. At least the one that's like readily available is not very graphic, but it is. I'm just going to give you a forewarning. Luffy would not like you. Yes, you're right. This is what we should be talking about right now. An American citizen was shot and killed by the Gestapo, and there are chatters in here coming in saying Luffy would not like you. Yes, it's not my fault that you don't understand whatever kind of fucking work you're reading, you dumbass. All right, lock in. Let's get a little bit serious for a brief moment. So, anyways, I was saying, only a week and a half after, basically, a right-wing slopaganda piece that came out that was supposed to talk about fraud, even though it wasn't really about fraud at all. It didn't have any new evidence in it whatsoever, and it was simply just a video harassing every single Somali and Somali-owned businesses. The Department of Homeland Security, leaning in to this new racialized agitprop, decided to send the Department of Homeland Security Gestapo agents to the city of Minneapolis. Now, what's really interesting, at least about one of the details that's often overlooked in this story, is the fact that the Somali American population, the Somali immigrant population, is 60% natural born U.S. citizens, as in they were born on U.S. soil, and over 90% of the Somalis on U.S. soil are American citizens. So they're either naturalized, or the majority of them are actually natural born U.S. citizens. So they just happen to be from Somalia. Like, that's their ethnic background. No different than like an Irish person, an Irish American, no different than an Italian American, right? And yet even though that is the reality, a lot of people have been talking about this from a immigrant apprehension standpoint for some reason. Why would you send ICE, which are supposed to be a unit that is entirely tasked with combating immigration crimes, to a place where you are suspecting a minority group of committing fraud, but the minority group that you are suspecting of committing a fraud is actually a minority group that is entirely American? Okay? Why are you bringing this up? Was it a Somali woman? Maybe he was talking to ICE agents. Why are you bringing this up? Was it a Somali woman? They are illegal. They are not. They are not. If the overwhelming majority of Somalis living in Minneapolis were committing fraud, that would be an American domestic affair. You understand that, right? Because they're American citizens. They are not illegal, no matter how hard you choose to believe that they are, just because you just have decided that some American citizens that don't look like you are actually not, American citizens. People have voted for that. What do you mean? I don't think I can have a conversation with you if you don't understand how this stuff works. There's a constitution. Just because you feel like you voted to make American citizens no longer American citizens doesn't mean that you can behave like that. Doesn't mean that you can get away with that. Just like, I can imagine that people that are, sub 60 IQ, such as yourself, should be immediately jailed, for example, if they are openly reactionary. But that doesn't mean that if I run on a platform such as that one, and then people overwhelmingly vote for me, which they probably would, because goddamn, some of you are so petulant and so vicious and so annoying, that doesn't mean that I can just like automatically decide to do that. There's a process that I have to go through. There's institutions, there's rules, there's laws, there's checks and balances. That's not how this works. You can't just go, yeah, sorry, their parents entered the country illegally and therefore their children also must leave. None of the things that you're saying is correct. I'm actually done talking to you about this because it's very clear that you do not have a working brain cell, but none of the things that you're saying is correct. As a matter of fact, those people are legally here, but what you are describing is illegal. Unironically illegal. That's not how anything works. That's not how this works. You don't just go, hey, I've decided that these people are black and Muslim and scary, and therefore I've imagined that they've come into the country illegally, and therefore they must be evacuated. They must be deported. That's just not how this works at all. I know that you are a petulant little child who thinks that you are entitled to get everything you want at all times, but that's just not how this works at all. Okay? Just at least for the time being. I know that Donald Trump has actually really, really made it seem like that's how things work, but that's just not how that goes. That logic applies to every immigrant. That logic applies to every immigrant too, even Venezuelans. Of course, applies to Venezuelans as well. As a matter of fact, it applies extra to Venezuelans, considering that Venezuelans, at least more than 500,000 Venezuelans, have temporary protected status to exist on U.S. soil. So they're technically still not naturalized American citizens, for example, and therefore it applies extra to Venezuelans. Okay. Having said that, we're obviously going to go right into it. Here is, here is the news. What is happening, man? Fuck me. God damn.
In Minneapolis, where city officials confirm a shooting occurred reportedly involving a federal ICE agent and a civilian this morning. You see the live pictures right there. Our Whitney Wild is...
Once again, of course, the way that they are covering this, instantly is neutral language, neutral tone, normalizing it a little bit, being like, oh, a shooting incident took place between a police officer, an ICE officer, and a bystander. And it's like, no, they shot and killed a woman in her car. Okay? They shot and killed a woman in her car. America is a fucking powder keg. We are 7 days into the new year. And in the first week of 2026, this administration has kidnapped and deposed the leader of a foreign nation, fantasized about doing similar things to other sovereign nations such as Mexico, Colombia, and also talked about overtaking or engaging in colonial occupation on a European country's territory, Greenland, basically destroying and it's a NATO country as well. Denmark is a NATO country. Basically destroying any sort of goodwill that they could potentially get from Europe. And yeah, this is where we're at. This is, it's fucking straight up 7 days in, and everything is completely busted.
There on the ground, Whitney, tell us what's happening right now.
Dana, we're in the heart of Minneapolis. We're here on East 35th and Portland Avenue. And let me show you first, I'll show you who's on scene. That is Mayor Jacob Frey. He's the mayor of Minneapolis. To the side here on the left side of your screen, that is Police Chief Brian O'Hara. There is an enormous law enforcement presence here from multiple different jurisdictions. Our photographer is going to show you what the crowd looks like here, Dana. Mayor Frey is now leaving. I think you're probably starting to hear people yelling to him, but he is now leaving. He had spoken with some people on the edge of the crowd when he first arrived, according to a man who had video of it. He did not come back to the crowd. Now a crowd is following him down the street. But what you're looking at right now is the law enforcement response here. So you see Minneapolis Police, you see the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department. We've also seen the U.S. Marshals here. We've seen Customs and Border Patrol. But let me bring you up to speed with what we know. As you said, we know that there was a shooting involving federal law enforcement near East 34th Street.
Minneapolis shooting involving federal law enforcement. Like, this is, I guess, though, that's what happened. That's like, who knows? Who knows what the details are, guys? Just gotta say, I know I have the new angle as well. Okay, calm down. I know. They make it seem like a woman hit a bullet, a woman hit multiple bullets, as a matter of fact, with her car. Like, when you say this, it could be a random woman who ran into bullets, or it could be a random person shooting federal law enforcement. Actually, did ICE agents get shot, or are the ICE agents fine? I mean, I can't tell from the way that they're angling this.
In Portland Avenue. That was according to the city of Minneapolis. We do not yet know for sure what the extent of any injuries are or what prompted this. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has weighed in, saying my public safety team is working to gather information on an ICE-related shooting this morning. Again, Mayor Jacob Frey is here. This is all in the context of this ramped-up immigration enforcement that DHS has been touting. They say this is the largest immigration crackdown to date, 2,000 agents spread throughout the Twin Cities.
I need to remind you guys once again that when they talk about this being the largest anti-immigration crackdown to date, the reason why they were deployed to Minneapolis is to apprehend people from a group that they've decided are not real Americans, right? They've decided that Somalis are not real Americans after this fucking propaganda video that came out. Except 90% of them are American citizens. 90% of them are American citizens, and the other 10% have, proper paperwork and clearance to be on U.S. soil. So 90% of them are American citizens. Only 10% of them are immigrants. Okay? So deploying the largest deployment of ICE agents into a city that is where you are targeting an immigrant population where 90% of them are American citizens, I think we all understand exactly what's going on here, right? I think we all understand exactly what's taking place here. It's fucking, it's completely ridiculous.
This has been going on for a couple of days now. We know that DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was here in the Minneapolis area yesterday. And what we see now is this real peak moment here where, based on our understanding, there was a shooting involving federal law enforcement here, and as Governor Tim Walz said, involving an ICE agent. We are learning to, trying to learn as much as we can. But let me just get you, another picture of the crowd here, because this is a city where these George Floyd riots are not far in the rearview mirror. And what I keep hearing from people in this area is they say, if you thought thought that was bad, this city is about to explode. And so the line that Minneapolis police are towing right now is to try to keep this calm and not inflame the crowd, because they do not want another major eruption. They cannot have a repeat of the George Floyd riots. And so right now what you're seeing is
CNN, George Floyd riots. Yeah. Great framing on this, for the record. I mean, this is what I was fucking worried about. And I did talk about this extensively when the Nick Shitley video first came out, where I said that there was going to be eventually copycats that come in and harass people, tensions rise up, eventually the administration sends in the Gestapo, and then here we have it. The Gestapo ends up shooting and killing someone. Okay? And for the record, we do have the video. Obviously, I'm going to get to that in a second. Like, this is just like the protests that are going on. Actually, let's just get started on the video real quick, and I'll show you the different angles as well, because a lot of this back and forth is going to be around whether or not this was a justified kill, okay? And it's not. It's not at all. It's not even remotely close. It does not fucking matter. The very fact that, once again, ICE was deployed to Minneapolis like this was just for politics, okay? Pure partisan politics, pure racist agitation. Because remember, that's the reason why I keep pointing to the fact that the Somali population that they're supposed to be targeting are 90% American citizens. Majority of them are natural-born American citizens, okay? Natural-born U.S. citizens. 60% of the 90% are natural-born U.S. citizens, and the rest are naturalized. So the fact that the Department of Homeland Security is conducting any sort of immigrant operation here is already ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's a completely made-up, faulty premise. So then you have people that are tracking ICE agents and filming them. Let's take a look at one of the witness videos that came out. Okay. There's a woman that's partially blocking the road with her SUV. Okay. This is the victim, for the record. ICE agents get out of their unmarked pickup trucks.
No!
They start trying to immediately. They go in, no questions asked. Immediately, they try to rip her out of the car. Okay. She pulls the car back first, okay? She reverses first to move out of the way. She reverses first to move out of the way.
Shit!
Then she tries to drive away, okay? There's an agent that is next to the car and immediately starts shooting. Instantly starts shooting, okay? No questions asked. This is cold-blooded murder. Now, let me tell you something. If this person had an arrest warrant out for their arrest and they were doing a lawful stop, okay? If the cops in this circumstance were doing a lawful stop, this would still be a terrible thing to do. And the reason for why this would be a terrible thing to do is because this is a suburban neighborhood. And if you open fire on someone like that, aside from the murder itself, when you open fire on a fucking moving vehicle like that, you end up causing even more problems. There could be innocent bystanders. There could be strays. There could be bullets ricocheting. You're putting a lot of other people at risk. So this is not the proper way to deal with the situation at all. The proper way to deal with the situation is very clearly this woman that is getting out of the way, just letting her go. Fuck. What is happening? Not only did they escalate the violence instantly to deadly violence, okay? Yeah, not like the car is a deadly weapon. The car can be a deadly weapon. This is why in many cities they have no chase policies. This is why you're not supposed to shoot someone like that. Exactly. And the car is literally like... The car immediately after he kills the person driving the car basically continues moving. And there are people on the other side at the fucking crosswalk. And she almost, like, the car almost ends up killing those people as well.
What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck
I cannot believe that in broad daylight, you can see a fellow American get assassinated by a pig fuck, an untrained pig fuck, hopped up on fucking steroids and self-entitlement, and you still have this weird thing in your mind where you go, how will I justify the actions of the cops here? It's one of the most insane things that I only see from Americans. I guess like MAGA brain rot is actually taking root all around the planet. So I suspect that there will be more and more people, even in places like Europe, that obviously looked at this stuff and insta-lock defense of the cops here. Okay? But you are a fucking moron. You have no self-interest. You do not understand the situation at all. You do not understand what is going on at all if you are looking to defend a cop in an instance like this. If you're looking to defend the ICE agent in an instance like this, they have been falsely deployed into this neighborhood to begin with. This person is part of this person is doing a lawful civil disobedience act. She's not fully blocking the road, even initially, okay? And as soon as they roll up, instead of trying to communicate with her to move out of the fucking road, this guy instantly tries to pull her out of the fucking car. You have to understand, you have rights, okay? As an American citizen, on paper, you have fucking rights, okay? Like, that's kind of the point, right? You have some rights. You can't just like have cops roll up to you and decide that they're God, okay? There is no world where a cop can just, without telling you that they're a police officer, without giving you like a lawful order, they can't just like walk up to you, guns drawn, and shoot you, you know? Like, that's what they're doing is illegal. And I think a lot of Americans don't understand this, where they think like if someone is wearing a badge, no matter how fake that badge is, because ICE is like even worse than cops in general, okay? When you see a person wearing a badge behaving like this, there are some Americans who unironically think, oh no, everything that they're doing is correct and everything that the citizen is doing is incorrect. One shot through the windshield, 2 shots through the side window, officer not even squarely in front of the truck to begin with. Exactly. And what a lot of people don't understand is when you're defending this kind of action, when you're defending this summary execution, right, in broad fucking daylight, what you're failing to comprehend is you're defending it for yourself. You're defending it for your mom and dad. You're defending federal law enforcement behaving like this to your loved ones as well. Pay attention to the wheels too. Yeah, the driver's wheel was pointing away from the agents when the first shot popped off and the officer's body was already out of the way of this vehicle. Exactly. I mean, there is no justification. There is no justification for this at all. That's the whole point of de-escalation over escalation, okay? Cops are supposed to de-escalate. And if they don't de-escalate and they escalate, they have weapons on them. Normal civilians can panic. The idea that you're immediately ascribing a negative intention to a person in their own fucking car, in their own neighborhood, is so insane to me. Okay? People see this and assume automatically that this person was there to do terrorism. They wanted to kill cops. They wanted to kill ICE agents. You're a fucking idiot for that, for that assessment. Okay? You're adding that intent in your mind in an effort to justify the actions of the ICE agents here, when these actions are utterly unjustifiable. Now, will they actually be held accountable? Probably not. I'll be honest. Probably not. But we are in a fucking serious powder keg right now. And it's not because this is where the George Floyd protest took place initially. Okay? But this is completely unacceptable. Who would agree with this? Who? Who would agree with this? Anyone who agrees with this does not realize that this can happen to them as well. I see a lot of people saying Asmongold. Yes, I know. My point is, Asmongold and people who actually watch this thing and immediately justify it don't realize that they're actually justifying it for themselves as well. They're justifying cops doing this kind of shit to them as well. Why did the woman try to kill the officer? It won't happen to me because I won't attack the officer. I think this is what I mean. Because the woman didn't try to kill the officer. The woman tried to get out of the way. And you can see that. You can see that with the wheel positioning right here. Okay? The woman is trying to get out of the way instead of getting ripped out of her fucking car. This does not give a reason for cops to kill this person, okay? That's not how this works. That's not how anything works. Because if this situation where cops are wrong from the start, the ICE guys are wrong from the very start, instead of de-escalating, instead of telling her, instead of wavering her away, walking up and trying to get her out of the car, guns out, and immediately fucking shooting her like this. If you think that this is anything but a severe collapse of how, under normal circumstances, lawful practice of law enforcement officers just fell apart, and that this could happen to you as well, you are being delusional. Please stop justifying shit like this just because you see a fucking badge and you want to eat the boot whole, okay? There is no world in which this is appropriate. It's not. And it's shocking to me that many regular ass Americans, which I suspect this person is, right, cannot comprehend that, cannot find themselves in a similar situation. Can you imagine a world where a misunderstanding or a moment of panic causes you to fucking lose your life, and then people talk about it as though it's, you know, it is what it is. Shouldn't have fucking done it. Fuck around and find out, scumbag. Like, that's how they talk about you. Even if the hallucinations on the right that want to justify this were true, fleeing cops is not a death sentence. Exactly. Okay? This is completely unacceptable. And not only is it completely unacceptable, but once again, it's yet another instance where I'm suspecting that the right is falling in line on the dumbest possible position. And not only are they falling in line with the dumbest possible position, it's one that is not even self-serving. Okay? This is against your best interest. We want every law enforcement officer to abide by a certain set of standards that places people's lives and livelihoods as the highest priority. That's the entire point of law enforcement, okay? We got an administration that is utilizing an unaccountable federal law enforcement agency as his own personal private Gestapo. And now they're killing people. And they have killed people already. But this is another one that is an execution in broad fucking daylight of an American citizen in her own goddamn neighborhood. And there are still dumb fucks out there. There are still stupid people out there that are trying to defend this, not realizing that one day, this can happen to you as well. Please show the angle where she drives into the guy. Brother, this is the angle. What the fuck are you talking about? You're talking about a person who is very clearly shooting at this car, although it's not, you know, the car is very clearly trying to get away from these fucking assholes, okay? She gets shot and killed for it. There is no justification for it. Can I post the link? You need to be subscribed to be able to post the link. But I already have the other angle. I assume you're talking about this one, right? The Lookner video that I saw. This is the one that people are presenting as like a valid one. Like, look, see, very clearly, this person was like driving into this other cop. Yeah, I wonder why they're using this angle from afar and not the close-up one to claim that this person was driving into the cop. I guess if you're ever in an incident and you're surrounded by cops, okay? It doesn't matter. If there's ever a cop around you, they can just shoot and kill you when you're in your car. That's just how it goes, baby. Oh, yeah, this one. Brother, you literally looked at an angle that is smack dab right there, and you thought, let's find another angle where I can justify my argument. And the other angle where you think justifies your argument is one that is right here. Even from this angle, it doesn't show what you think it shows, you fucking moron. You understand that, right? This angle doesn't justify your argument. He's on the side. The vehicle is clearly moving away. The vehicle is moving to the right. He's to the left of the car. Maybe you'll find another angle eventually. Homie, I'm not trying to justify or get mad at anyone. I looked at the angles and I thought, hey, don't do that. Listen, homie, okay? I need you to understand something, all right? There is a little devil in everyone's mind, okay? This is something that I observe mostly with Americans. I've actually never seen, I've seen hogs of all different varieties, but this is a uniquely American hog brain thing where they see someone wearing a fucking badge, executing someone in broad daylight, and they immediately look for ways to justify it because they've been told cops are always good. Cops are always good. If a cop tells you, get down and suck his cock, you have to do it. They have a gun. If you don't do it, then, and they shoot you and kill you, it's fine. It's all right. You should have sucked his cock. It is a very strange phenomena that I only see with American bootlickers. Even European bootlickers don't go this fucking hard. And it might stem from the fact that you might not have ever actually been in an intense situation with cops or anyone holding a gun to your fucking face. Okay. And you don't understand what that environment is like, how chaotic that environment is. But there is a reason why under different circumstances in other normal, competent forms of governance in other countries, there is obviously a much higher priority of violence that you need to actually clear before a standard of violence that you actually have to clear before you pull your gun out and start shooting. Okay. In America, we have normalized that you can just like come out guns blazing, start fucking executing people because there are a lot of people that will justify it. It's completely ridiculous. This was not an attempt to run down the officers. If that was the case, she probably would have turned her wheels in the opposite direction, not the direction away from the cops. No, I don't believe that. I believe if you attack an officer, that officer has the right to stop you. I looked at the videos presented and I saw a woman drive at an officer. I don't think you're understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth. Okay? The DHS's own use of force guidelines prohibits this. Okay? DHS's law enforcement officers are prohibited from discharging firearms at an operator of a moving vehicle, vessel, aircraft, or other conveyance unless the use of deadly force against the operator is justified under the standards articulated elsewhere in this policy. Before using deadly force under these circumstances, the LEO must take into consideration the hazards that may be posed to law enforcement and innocent bystanders by an out-of-control conveyance. There's a reason why in many of these other places, you don't even have the right to give chase to a fucking fleeing vehicle because you can end up killing way more people in the process. That's not how this works at all. If there's a person that's violating the law here, or violating the law in a more severe manner, it is actually the law enforcement in this circumstance. What are we doing? Yeah, she very clearly is trying to do a goddamn U-turn too. She's waving them by. Video shows the driver was yielding to agents and waving them by. Agents then tried to forcibly enter her vehicle. When she tried to drive off, an agent opened fire. He even moved her side window to fire her again. Like she's literally waving them off. She's trying to do a fucking like she goes forward here after waving the agent off, clearly trying to fucking move. And then this truck comes out. The ice dipshits come out of this first truck. And instantly, guns blazing, no questions asked. She puts the car in reverse.
No! Shit!
And immediately, they fucking shoot and kill her. Why is it? Why is it that, dude, do your people always get so aggressive when someone clearly explains their point of view without attacking anyone? Brother, the point of view that you're attacking is justifying cold-blooded murder of an American citizen in the hands of an unaccountable fucking military force that the administration is utilizing against people like you. If you're an American citizen, yeah, of course, this is an idiotic justification. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, I just like have a simple disagreement. Like, I don't understand. You see fucking cold-blooded murder and your first job in your mind is to defend the fucking murderer because the murderer is wearing a badge. Of course, we're going to have some fucking disagreements with you, brother. It's an emotional story, don't you think? Just because you lack the capacity to empathize with the person that could be you or a loved one in any other circumstance, by the way. Okay? I suspect your entire family are not cops, right? I assume. And even cops can actually find themselves in the crosshairs of ICE at different times. So, you know, this is even less accountable than the police. I believe that if you attack an officer, you keep repeating it over and over again. That's not the point. Okay? A misreading of a situation or a chaotic situation where someone could be fearful for their life for understandable reasons should not mean that you get to summarily execute them in broad daylight. What the fuck are you talking about? You're just automatically victim blaming. She wasn't attacking anyone. That's your assumption. Your assumption is that this person was there to do broad daylight murder of a fucking cop, engage in vehicular manslaughter. That's what your assumption is. And currently, if you actually look at the evidence presented with eyewitness testimony and the videos that are readily available, you do not have enough information to justify that intent. Okay? You are just making this up. There's something in your mind that is causing you to look at a situation like this and immediately imagine an alternative hypothetical that did not happen. And not only that, but also, not only is this a denial of reality, but it's a denial of reality of a common thing that can happen to even someone such as yourself. Your entire assumption hinges on whether or not she was trying to actively murder a cop, an ICE agent, with her car, okay? And there is not enough evidence to justify that. So I don't know why you're behaving like the fucking state prosecutor trying to get these bad cops off on murder when you're not. When you're not a cop, you're not an ICE agent, you're not a state prosecutor that's trying to make sure that the fucking ICE agents, or a federal prosecutor that's trying to make sure that the ICE agents are off and don't get any fucking, don't receive any sort of impact in this situation, right? They don't experience any legal repercussions. You're a citizen. You have no power in this situation. I don't understand why you automatically put yourself, here, this is what it is. You put yourself in the shoes of the ICE agent. You never put yourself in the shoes of who you would likely be in this scenario, which is not a fucking ICE agent, but a person in her car. This is the problem. Do you understand? That's it. You automatically place yourself in the shoes of the ICE agent that did the murder. You fantasize about being the powerful person in this circumstance, when in fact, you are not an ICE agent, okay? You are a fucking citizen. And there's precisely, that is precisely the reason why there are laws around standard ways of apprehending people, okay? There are restrictions that are supposed to be placed on every law enforcement officer at every level so that this thing that happened does not happen. So it blows my mind when LARPers such as yourself immediately place themselves in the shoes of a bad cop. I believe the officer should be prosecuted to the letter of the law after full investigation, but I also saw the woman drive into him. It's sad it happened, but I support people being able to defend themselves. Okay, if a random person walks up to your car with a gun drawn, do you have a right to defend yourself? Also, I haven't been rude or anything. Why are you being a dick? Because you're justifying murder. I don't think you will understand. Because the reason why you are grabbing onto the civility like a goddamn libtarded pussy in this situation is because you can't actually argue on the virtues, okay? And that's the reason why you have to go, why are you hurting my fucking feelings? Sorry, this is not what you think was going to happen in a fucking, college campus style hysterical SJW gets owned compilation. I apologize for this not going the way you thought it was going, okay? The reason why I'm being stern with you and maybe even a little rude with you is because you saw a situation where a cop straight up, an ICE agent straight up fucking shot someone in a totally unlawful scenario, and your first inclination was to try and put yourself in the shoes of the fucking cop and try to defend it. You're not just defending a cop, you're defending a bad cop in this situation, and bad cops kill, okay? And because of this environment of lack of accountability, even from the fucking public here, this means that there will be more instances where cops end up killing more people. And one day they could even murder one of your family members. Okay? Every single part of this could have been avoided if the cops didn't fucking come out like insane people. And instead, we're just like, hey, can you get out of the way, please? You are not allowed to block a fucking road in this way. And it's very obvious that if you watch the longer video, she's already waving the cops past and she's already trying to get out of the fucking way. It's so crazy that like for the last couple of days, everyone was like, well, Maduro is killing protesters, right? And then all of a sudden, when it's America, when it's literally happening in the United States of America, they're like, no, it's good. I guess it's good. I can't believe it. It's the same people. It's the same people that are like, no, I can't believe this. What the fuck? It's good when the president is white, of course. Yeah, I guess what it is. Yeah, I guess that's the whole point. I cannot believe it. And then I like that this is the smoking gun. Very cute electro dog. Thank you, chatter. Once again, demonstrating that you have no care or consideration for animals, nor do you have any care or consideration for human beings. Like, that's it. That's the whole point, right? That's the reason why all these people that come in here and go, oh, dude, you actually abuse your dog, don't actually have any care or consideration for animal abuse or humans. Okay. Perfect example of this. Yeah. So the smoking gun has the fidelity of a Bigfoot sighting. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe it. Look at this smoking gun. I know you have it in broad daylight. I know you watched it in broad daylight in fucking 4K, but guess what? This alternative angle doesn't really even prove the point that you're trying to make. But because of the fucking low pixelated version of the video, I can at least try and defend it a little bit better, you know? Yeah. Now let's look at the eyewitness testimony now that we saw the video, okay? Because there are obviously eyewitnesses as well here.
Noticed that the ambulances were around, and then I saw behind the snowbank that they're doing CPR on a woman right behind here. I couldn't see the woman. I didn't see her get shot, but that's what my spouse said from the signal chat that we're on that they said happened. And they did CPR for a good minute. And then the ambulances came and they had stretchers and they brought her onto the stretcher. She was Scott patient. And they put her into the ambulance and they drove off without sirens. They didn't bring her to the emergency. They drove off quietly. If somebody is shot and they're doing CPR and they don't rush her to the emergency, what happens? Noticed that the ambulances were around. And then I saw behind the snowbank that they're doing CPR.
There's more. There's another witness. Yeah. Eyewitness account here from the scene says she was trying to turn around. An ICE agent was in front of her car and he pulled out a gun and put it right in, like his midriff was on her bumper. And he reached across the hood of the car and shot her in the face like 3 or 4 times, Heller said. Heller said it appeared that the woman then accelerated and traveled about 100 feet before striking a utility pole and some other vehicles. She could be seen slumped inside of her car. Kirsty Noem also immediately said this was an act of domestic terrorism, as though there isn't a fucking video footage of this. Okay? That's what's so crazy about it. These guys don't even care. They don't even dignify us with like a fucking deliberate lie. They don't even give us like a good lie anymore. I don't understand how people don't recognize that this is fascism, which is colonialism turned inward, okay? This is literally how we operated in Iraq without any accountability whatsoever, okay? We did this for years and years. We said, oh, we shot a hospital. Guess what? Maybe the hospital had Taliban in it. Turns out the hospital didn't have Taliban in it, but it's all right. It's just, oh, my mistake. This kind of unaccountable violence is now taking place on U.S. soil. It was unacceptable in Afghanistan. It was unacceptable in Iraq. And now it's happening on U.S. soil. And it's crazy to me that there are American citizens who will defend this. And it's also crazy to me that Open Presence, thank you for the 100 gift to subs. It's also crazy to me that there are people, there are people in the government that are lying in the exact same fucking way that they were lying in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information.
Yeah. You know we got fucking footage, right? Like, this isn't even a lie. that's in the ballpark of what was captured on video. Just a complete fabrication. They're scrambling to rush out before people can see what happened. Like, not even remotely close. Not even remotely close to what fucking took place. Unless you mean it was an act of domestic terror by ICE. I cannot believe it, dude. Yo, listen. We're now fucking popping white women, dude. We're now killing white women and the state is justifying it. Like, how can people not understand that the environment has changed so dramatically? This is exactly what Black Lives Matter protesters were protesting about, okay? This is the reason why BLM was at the funeral of white people that were being killed by cops too. Like, there was at least a point in time where, like, the racist people would be like, well, this white person got killed and white people are the only human beings that we recognize as human beings. And I was like, nope, white women can be killed by cops just the same. Turns out it don't matter. Turns out it was like, it wasn't even all lives matter. It was no lives matter, you know? Hasanabi, do you run from a cop with a gun regardless of the country? Do not do that. It's wrong for the agent to shoot. Yes. What is going on with your brains, chatters? What causes you to think? What causes you to instantly try to find a different scenario? Well, what if she had a nuclear weapon and that she was about to blow up the entire state of Minnesota? You know? Like, what if she had a gun and she had fired the gun and she was running away after firing the gun? It's like, okay, what if? Do you run from a cop with a gun regardless of the country? Do not do that. It's wrong for the agent to shoot, yes, but also wrong to block the road from agents. Someone just told me to off myself. Shut up. Shut up. Okay? Stop. Stop fucking crying. I need you to stop fucking crying. You come in here, you say some dumb, nonsensical bullshit defending an American citizen getting fucking murdered in broad daylight, and then you cry when people go, shut the fuck up. Yes, it's the internet. You know how many people tell me to kill myself every fucking day? God damn it. Stop fucking crying. Sack up. Man the fuck up, bitch. God damn. You come in here, you say some insane shit, and instantly play the victim. What are we doing? Holy fuck. You're in here trying to play the big dog, being like, well, you know, I'm justifying summary execution in broad daylight. Oh no, someone told me a mean word on the internet. Shut the fuck up. You can't do might is right politics in the chat in an instance where someone like yourself could just as easily been the victim in this situation, and then get offended when people get mad about that and respond to it like that, okay? Holy fuck. I can't stand the fucking soy right. I cannot stand how fucking soy right-wing fascists are. It is unfucking bearable. One day they'll be talking about how, well, we have the biggest dicks, we have the biggest military, we can just murder whoever the fuck we want. The next day they'll be like, yeah, even if like it's an American citizen in our own fucking vehicle getting murdered in broad daylight, I'm still gonna defend that summary execution. Oh no, people are mad at me for saying that this is appropriate. Like, what is happening here? And then they fucking turn around and go, the left is so violent. Why? Because they said shut the fuck up and used a spicier language. Is that what it is? Cry bullies all around. Jesus Christ, unfucking bearable. I know I was defending the summary execution of an American citizen in broad daylight in her own goddamn car by an unaccountable group of law enforcement officers that are simply following the desires of this unaccountable administration, really ramping up the tensions here, okay? But you were rude. You were rude to me. And that's basically, cops, come and kill this person, please. They were being rude to me. Me. I'm the most important person here. My feelings were hurt while you were trying to have a conversation about the possible dangers of escalating violence in the hands of an unaccountable body of law enforcement. But me! What about my feelings? Why can't I simply defend summary executions of broad daylight in the hands of ICE agents without people saying that I suck dick? Me! That's what you fucking sound like.
Questions there. You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them.
I like that people then go crash out. I'm the one crashing out. You're right. Oh, never mind. You were talking about the fucking right wingers. Because people will then be like, oh, Hassan is fucking crashing out. It's like, I'm not the one crying, okay?
Them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such. We will continue to.
It's fucking insane. Yeah, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. We didn't even get to that. There's a fucking ICE agent that they caught roaming the streets that had the fucking double lightning bolt Nazi tattoo. I can't believe it. Also, by the way, before people fucking chirp, before the electro dog dumbasses who got duped online fucking chirp, this woman murdered her dog murdered her puppy also in broad daylight, okay? The person that you're defending and her goat. And then dumped them in a fucking pile. None of you give a shit, obviously, but you know. It's so crazy. It's like any circumstance can be justified. If you can justify this, you can justify anything. You know what I mean? And I guess these guys literally, yeah, they do want that. They want that. They want to justify anything and everything. Freeze frames of this specific moment where the ICE agent draws and fires his pistol 3 times. Look at the wheels, dude. Like, the wheels have already turned. She backed out. She's trying to get out of the fucking way. And the guy instantly starts fucking blasting. Nick Merckx and Cloak still bring it up while playing fucking Arc Raiders. I mean, who gives a shit, brother? Yes, they're fucking dumb hogs. It's the rallying cry of hogs who defend pedophiles and shit until it becomes unpopular for them to do so. And obviously they can't get me on anything, so they have to make up some shit that they use as a rallying cry to be like, hey guys, he's a bad guy. Clearly because the socialism with the house didn't fucking work. Who cares? Yeah, they're squealing hogs. Let them fucking squeal, okay? Let them fucking squeal. Lock in. We're talking about something serious here, all right? Anyway, in the moments before he draws his weapon, the agent does not look at the relative positions of his fellow agents to assess whether they are in danger. He locks his eyes on the driver. By the time the agent draws his weapon, only that agent, the one who fired, is in a position where they could possibly be struck by the vehicle. Christy Gnomes claims that multiple officers are simply lies. By the time the agent fires his gun for the first time, the driver has turned the wheels of the car in a way clearly intended to avoid striking him. In the moment that they were killed, they could not possibly oppose the fatal threat to the agent that they were attempting to avoid. This image captures the moment the agent fired his weapon for the second time. I don't know what else to say here. He's at a 90-degree angle to the fucking driver. His life is not at risk, and anyone claiming otherwise is lying. His goal in the moment is to shoot and kill the driver. The moment when the agent fires his weapon for the third time, the vehicle is past him and obviously not a threat to any agent on the scene. 2 other significant points after the agent fires his final shot. 1, the vehicle accelerates, presumably as the driver slumps on the gas, striking 2 other vehicles and a telephone pole. This is the moment of the greatest danger to the public, a danger caused by an ICE agent. And as I covered already, ICE agents are bound by the DHS's use of force guidelines. Not that they will actually fucking take this into sincere consideration, okay? Because obviously the whole point here is to always justify, always justify, always justify, you know? No matter what happens. The greater threat here is not the random lady in her fucking vehicle, okay? The greater threat here is the unaccountable ICE agents that are shooting people in the fucking face. What are we doing? Now focus on the agent. After he draws his weapon and fires, he holsters his weapon and then walks towards the crash. He never looks at his fellow agents. DHS is saying these agents were all at risk of their lives, but he never even looks at them to assess their condition because they all knew that they weren't in fucking danger, okay? Yeah, and Tim Miller is right. They are going to try to tell you that a masked officer shooting into the side window of a 37-year-old lady's Honda Pilot was doing so out of fear for his life. At this point, because of the information environment and how it's just partisan, it's pure partisan, okay? If Donald Trump comes out and says, or if Donald Trump's own servants come out and say this was good because it was a severe act of terror, Republicans will sincerely look at this shit and go, yes, this was a 37-year-old woman in a Honda Pilot that was sincerely trying to murder every ICE agent and do an act of terrorism. She might have actually been ISIS. Okay? It does not matter anymore. The truth does not matter. None of this fucking matters. Asmund clip on this is being mass downvoted on Reddit. Feels like legit bot manipulation. Yes, Asmund Gold will get away with talking about how awesome this was in his own hug box, and they will do everything in their fucking power to ensure that this does not breach containment. This does not reach out of his hug box whatsoever. Okay? But I suspect that this will be one of those moments where he probably bet on the wrong fucking horse because he doesn't understand the actual impact that this incident will have in American consciousness. A lot of people immediately fire from the hip and justify whatever they assume the administration is going to say. And 20% of the population, it is clear to me, will also always defend these kinds of unlawful actions. Okay, they will always defend it no matter what. They'll say, oh, you just want cops to be killed. Oh, you just want people to do terrorism and vehicular manslaughter, things of that nature. They will look at this clip in broad fucking daylight, look at this goddamn execution of an American citizen, a 37-year-old woman in a fucking Honda Pilot, and go, yes, it was totally justifiable to kill that person because they have no capacity for empathy. They cannot understand that they are closer to being in a situation where they get killed by a cop than actually being the cop that pulls the trigger. Check my deleted link. Some right-leaning guy witnessed it and it changed him. What is this? The citizens of Minneapolis sound united. Is this from today?
I was just getting up and I heard a bunch of commotion and whistling outside. And then I heard bang, 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 3 shots. I went to go look out the window and it looked like there was a Honda over there that crashed. And
constantly stopping for bad faith chatters undermines what you were attempting to do here. Ignoring people that condone murder. Wait, what? I'm not going to ignore people that condone murder. What the fuck are you talking about? As a matter of fact, the reason why I'm pulling up bad faith chatters and quickly trying to counter their points is because I do not believe in letting this kind of stuff go. You'll see. Once Asmongold realizes that there are longtime Asmongold chatters who actually see this as a broad daylight execution of a fucking white lady and how unacceptable this is in the hands of a cop, and his audience start fucking turning on him and he can't actually deal with it, he'll change his perspective. Okay? This is an unjustifiable, unlawful act of straightforward murder.
Found out it was an observer that got shot and killed, and I saw them carry it. I got a bunch of video of them carrying the body to the ambulance and stuff. So there's an observer that got shot at an ICE raid at the house next door.
I'm sure that was a scary thing to witness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty right-leaning, but seeing this is not what you need to do. It's not how to do it. It's not how we're supposed to.
This is also part of the reason why I said eventually that no matter what people's positions were initially when they voted for Donald Trump or whatever, they will slowly but surely realize when this happens in their neighborhood that it is unacceptable and it's fucked up because it ultimately humanizes the situation for them. It makes it real for them. It's no longer something that they are perceiving on the television. This is precisely why I said eventually, once ICE comes to their neighborhood, they won't like it. And this is yet another glaringly obvious example of that because a lot of people do not have the capacity to empathize with others, okay? They just see like scary immigrants, scary Muslims, scary black immigrants, scary Muslim immigrants, scary Latino immigrants. They must be immediately deported because they're doing rapes, they're doing murders, they're doing drug dealings, and it's really fucked up. They have to go. But then when ICE comes to their neighborhood, they realize, wait a minute, these guys are just fucking packing up my neighbors. My neighbor didn't do anything. My neighbor's landscaper didn't do shit. Okay, why the fuck's he being apprehended? Why the fuck's he being sent back? He's a good guy. I didn't even know he was undocumented. Why the fuck is he actually being kidnapped in the middle of the fucking day? I don't like that at all. And then on top of that, when they see this like unaccountable, unlimited super violence that these fucking dickheads are engaging with, that these dickheads are doing, causing chaos in their fucking neighborhoods, that's when they go, okay, never mind. This was actually a bad idea. That's it.
To do things around here in America. So
What was how many like agents and other people were here when that happened?
when it first started, there was maybe 20, but now there's hundreds, and then they got everybody out. So it's kind of crazy right now.
What's it been like seeing all of this?
And remember, Nick Shirley absolutely played a role in this, okay? I know it seems stupid to bring that up, but unfortunately, we live in profoundly stupid times. And yes, abso-fucking-lutely, Nick Shirley's video played a role in this, because although there was an active investigation that had taken place under Merrick Garland and Joe Biden's Department of Justice, an investigation that took many, many years to conclude with convictions that came after the fact, Nick Shirley decided to use that pre-existing investigation to go and universalize the hatred towards all Somalis, as though every single Somali in Minneapolis was engaging in mass fraud. It went viral. Elon Musk boosted it. All these dumb fuck right-wingers leaned into it, even though it was the dumbest video I've ever seen. So many people got fucking filtered by this video, including centrists and liberals who made it seem as though this video was actually good. It was actually brilliant journalism, only to sheepishly move away from it after other adults with fucking working brain cells looked into the video. Not adults with working brain cells that have been vilified by the slop tubers, obviously, but like, you know, CBS, ABC, CNN, and numerous other adults that went in and were like, this is a ridiculous video. Here is why. Okay. And then eventually the attitude shifted a little bit on the internet as well when people actually offered pushback. This is the reason why I always say you have to be brave. You have to, when you see something that doesn't sit right with you, you have to call it out. Because if you stay quiet, if you stay silent, if you're worried about the right-wing dickheads that are going to come after you and yell at you and say you're a fucking bad person for this, then you can't give others the courage to do the same thing, okay? This is also why I actively push back on stuff like this, even though I'll be the fucking person who tanks all the aggro initially. And you should too, okay? Because, again, we have power in numbers. But in any case, Nick Shirley's bullshit-ass video then caused the administration to move the Department of Homeland Security into Minneapolis. But remember, 90% of Somalis are American citizens. 60% of Somalis are natural-born U.S. citizens. Okay? No different than Irish-American, no different than Italian-American. They just happen to be black and Muslim from the continent of Africa. And that's the only major difference here. So why the fuck would you actually send ICE to pack up American citizens? ICE has no power in apprehending American citizens. It is illegal for ICE to conduct operations on American citizens, and yet they sent them anyway. And of course, when they went to Minneapolis, this was inevitable. It was inevitable that they would end up shooting someone and killing them. And now they have, and people are still trying to defend it. Luckily, there are some who are recognizing that this is completely inappropriate. This is completely unjustifiable, like this person.
So kind of scary. I lived during the riots in 2020, so it's kind of paralleling that right now. It's kind of same feeling. Hoping it doesn't, but it's getting low.
There was the lady's wife. What is this? Is that her? Oh, this is just ICE and Border Patrol agents have shot a woman who was a legal observer in the face and killed her in a Minneapolis neighborhood. Details are still emerging and the exact circumstances have not yet been officially confirmed. According to a woman from the scene, a man heard gunshots and ran outside. The wife of the victim, who was in the car, is sitting on the ground nearby with a dog, visibly distressed. In the video, she's heard saying that they had stopped to film. She yelled something, and moments later, agents fired, fatally shooting the woman. What happens next is even more alarming. A man identifying himself as a physician attempts to approach the scene, providing medical assistance. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to show this video. Plus, I don't know the veracity of the claims being made here. This seems like a random person, so I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I'm not going to lean into unconfirmed statements because, again, this is an ongoing This is an ongoing incident, so there might be some details that might be wrong on this, okay? That doesn't mean that this person is wrong in any of the details that they're presenting, but I would rather wait for official confirmation on this stuff. But yes, I have heard from other people, including Prem Talker, that she was a legal observer. Our politicians tell us to show up and record ICE agents. They specifically tell us to do this. What are we supposed to do? What the fuck are we supposed to do? No, exactly. A man identifying himself as a physician attempts to approach the scene, provide medical assistance. He repeatedly tells agents that someone medically trained needs to intervene, that the victim is bleeding, and that the doctor is required to assess or pronounce death. Instead of allowing aid, agents point the guns at him, threaten him, and force him to back away, leaving the woman shot inside her car without assistance. Eventually, medics arrive and remove the woman from the vehicle. Multiple eyewitnesses reported a physician attempted to give aid to her after the incident before 911 gets there, and ICE pointed their guns at them. Jesus Christ. This activated a schism in my friend group, and we all blocked the one MAGA guy in the group. I think this will unironically have more impact on the Maduro kidnapping. Sad shit, man. Oh, no, for sure. And you have to understand, the reason why this will have more impact for a lot of Americans is because this is something that at least like even the dumbest Americans can identify with. This is a white woman who's 37 years old in her fucking Honda Pilot that is trying to get out of the way of ICE agents who literally just walk up and just shoot her, okay? They first try to pull her out of her car, and then they walk up and shoot her. They dome her in broad daylight. Of course, it's going to be easier to identify that person as like someone that you know what I mean? Like your neighbor or your mom or your sister. It's much easier for Americans to look at that situation and go, yeah, this is actually a bridge too fucking far. Yeah. It's a random ass suburb where this happened. So it's obvious that it can happen to you as well, which is why it's even more alarming to me that there are still Americans in this chat and in other communities that are desperately trying to see themselves in the shoes of the fucking ICE agent rather than the shoes of the random citizen that just got fucking killed by an unaccountable ICE agent. It blows my fucking mind. Omar Fateh, received reports of a shooting by an ICE agent in my district. I'm on site gathering verified information. I'm deeply concerned by the reports that a doctor was denied the ability to provide life-saving CPR by federal law enforcement. Please stay safe and take care of one another. Update, the victim has passed away. And of course, now that the protests are already heating up, here's where we're at. Yeah. Great stuff. That's a less than lethal directly shooting him in the face. Okay? He could have lost his eye right there, right then and there. That's a canister that you can literally see 40 millimeters deployed directly at this range, directly at his head. That is an intent to murder. You understand that, right? What happened right here is straight up something that has killed people in the past. What you are watching here is assault with a deadly weapon with an intent to murder. This is completely unacceptable. They need to pull back from this and allow people to fucking protest. They need to instantly pull the fucking police back. The fact that they are doing this shit instead is only going to escalate the situation further.
Tell someone else! Go for it! Tell someone else!
They're going to double down? What do you mean? No, some people will double down. Some people will double down. Others will recognize that this is their moment to fucking pull out of the situation. Okay? Every single incident like this pulls away from the support that the administration already the diminishing support that this administration has. Okay? Oh my God, if one more person sends me the other angle, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I already saw it, dude. I already saw it. The other angle doesn't actually justify the shooting at all, okay? It doesn't. And because they have nothing that they can do to defend this this instance of like straightforward murder, they're going to move on to other stuff. They're going to very quickly sweep away and talk about the protests and talk about how scary it was when the George Floyd riots took place. Okay? They will move on from, first they'll try to justify the straightforward murder. When they realize they can't, they'll quickly move on and they'll start talking about Black Lives Matter and say how that's actually the real danger here and all this stuff. Fox News is already moving on. Mayor Jacob Fry came out and said, get the fuck out of the city, ICE. And Fox News' commentary on the situation is that this was a profanity-laced statement. It's unacceptable.
But I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. But I...
Fox News angle on the stories that condemn the mayor for his use of profanities. They're talking straight up like IDF with the West Bank settlers. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting targeted operations when rioters began blocking ICE officers. And what are these violent rioters? This is literally Israel, okay? United States of Israel, dude. Holy fuck. Imperial boomerang. Straight up. We have seen this for the past 2 years with the IDF being like, well, they were hiding terrorists. Then he said a bunch of lip shit about hugs and hope after fuck ICE. I don't care. Jacob Fry sucks, but you have to lean into whoever actually has power and hold them to account. Make sure that they actually follow through.
City, they are not here to cause safety in this city. What they are doing is not to provide safety in America. What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an
AP muscle memory kicked in to justify this Israeli occupational force-style murder. Breaking, an ICE agent fatally shot a woman accused of trying to run over officers with a car during an immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. Associated Press now giving U.S. News the Israel treatment. Who accused her of trying to run over officers? As journalists, it's your job to find out if it's true, not to help ICE justify this killing. To be fair, this was before Israel as well. I mean, this is how it's always been. It's called passive voice, and I've talked about it for years and years. As a matter of fact, I used to use the pro-police language that they fucking use to justify Israel's military action in the way that the media does this. In this slowed down version, you can absolutely see the first shot comes after all officers are clear and on the nose of the vehicles past every agent. Dude, it doesn't. Yes, we know. Explain passive voice to me. Sure. When someone who is not a law enforcement officer shoots and kills someone and it's murder, the media will say this is an alleged murder, right? Like they will use direct language. For example, Israelis are murdered, Palestinians die. Okay? When someone shoots a cop, they say it. Okay, they just straight up say like bystander shoots a law enforcement officer. When a cop shoots a bystander, they will use passive voice. Active voice means police officers shoot and kill bystander. That would be active voice. You never actually hear that when you're talking about law enforcement action. When there is a lethal action that takes place where a cop or someone, a member of law enforcement, shoots and kills someone, okay, they always use passive voice. They say bullet struck or law enforcement related shooting. Bystander dies during law enforcement shooting. Things like that. That's passive voice. It's a way to take the responsibility away from the hands of the person who actually fired the bullet. Yeah, Elon Musk is on the case as well. Yeah, R.I.P. Bozo, says Asmongold. They told her to get out of the car, and then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer and drive away. Comply with police and don't try to run him over. This angle shows it better. And the angle does not actually show it better. Elon Musk responds and says, yes, if an officer of the law says stop, you stop. Attempting to murder them with a car obviously requires self-defense. Will this kind of very obviously goosed up, base boosted right-wing sentiment win over people, or will it stay on these websites as people actually see the truth? That's the question here. How much can Elon Musk, who played a big role in this murder that took place by boosting the narratives of Nick Shirley, okay, who many people did not even know who the fuck he was, and now he's getting 500,000 likes per tweet on Twitter, okay? His video on Twitter got 150 or 250 million views. His video on YouTube got like 2 to 3 million views, right? So if you want to understand like the impact that Elon Musk can have on his own website and how that impact can actually spread to other websites, this is yet another example of this, okay? this Fox News angle doesn't make any
is
sense?
that this mayor is out there saying things, that ICE is not there for our safety, and we, no one wants anyone to lose their life. Period.
I don't think you guys give a shit. I'll be honest. This is propaganda through and through.
But again, what about all of the individuals who were killed by illegals? And the Trump administration is now coming in and saying we are not going to allow that type of violence in our country.
Yeah, woman dead after ICE-involved shooting in Minnesota.
What do you say to Lake and Riley? What do you say to those who were killed by illegals? And the Trump...
Like, what's so crazy about this is, once again, what do you say to Lake and Riley is such an insane instance of whataboutism, because this circumstance has nothing to do with Lake and Riley, no matter how hard you try to justify it, okay? You are talking about a totally separate incident. With the horrific murder of Lake and Riley, law enforcement actually took action. The person who did it was apprehended, okay? They went to court. What are we talking about? Justice was served in that circumstance. This is not a justification for deploying ICE wherever the fuck you want to and then have them start randomly doming people in the fucking streets. What the fuck?
The administration is now coming in and saying we are not going to allow that type of violence in our country. What do you think?
Like, a random undocumented immigrant did one murder elsewhere, that means ICE can go and kill American citizens everywhere? What the fuck is this argument? This is true. And I need people to understand this. ICE is not about immigration. It's not about law enforcement. It's not about national security. It's not even about ethnic cleansing. It's a catch-all vehicle for state violence, a secret police designed to go around the country and terrorize Americans into a state of compliance. That is precisely what it is. Okay? Ethnic cleansing is just the justification that they use to sell it to the dumbest fucking hogs. Okay? But that's it. It's Trump's own personal Gestapo force. That's it. And Americans are supposed to hate that shit. I'm shocked. And many Americans do, but I'm shocked that there's still like a decent chunk of people who legitimately think this is good. Oh, there's too many racist people. Yeah, but I think for a lot of racist, brainwashed people, they don't even realize that they can be in the crosshairs next, okay? They have no capacity to understand that their justifications for actions such as this one will inevitably lead to ICE doing it to them or their loved ones inevitably. They just can't see it though, okay? They don't understand it. They don't understand it at all. They're just literally, they are constantly tuning in to every single incident and finding ways to try and justify it. That's all they're doing, right? Not realizing that an administration that does this to other people will inevitably do this to them. I understand why Elon Musk, obviously from his position of power, gets away with saying, of course ICE is going to kill whoever the fuck they want to kill, right? Because that's Elon Musk. Elon Musk is never going to be in this situation. Even Asmongold most likely will never be in this situation because he never leaves his house, right? But Asmongold's audience could just as well have been in this situation. Easily. They could have been in the situation where they're like pro-ICE, for example, but they got scared and they wanted to move out of the way, right? Or they're pulling out of their fucking driveway, for example, and they got domed and shot and killed. That's how this works, okay? You are ascribing evil intent for no real reason in this circumstance when the true evil that's taking place is literally the evil that's coming from ICE. If even in this situation, you instantly find yourself trying to justify the murderers, there's something fucking wrong with you. You have like the part of your brain that causes you to think about your own personal well-being is warped because you're so predisposed with defending law enforcement every step of the fucking way. You've been so propagandized and so conditioned into thinking that cops are always doing the right thing that you just cannot understand that you could be in the crosshairs next. You just can't comprehend it. Your loved ones can be in the crosshairs next. Yeah, this was the inevitable consequence of a Gestapo formed of racist sociopaths who were given license to go and attack communities. It was only a matter of time that the government terrorist thugs who went around aiming guns at people, photographing them, were going to act on it. It was only a matter of time. Not if you don't try to run over an ICE agent. Yeah, hey, notice how you're actually, once again, making up a thing that we can see did not happen. And you're desperately trying to say that it was a justifiable kill in this circumstance, even though we can all see that that wasn't the instance at all, that wasn't what happened. That's precisely my point. When you're, let's say in a totally separate circumstance, ICE agents are fucking rolling down your street, and your mother who wants to go out and get groceries doesn't realize that there's a bunch of unmarked cars that are passing through, and she tries to pull out of her fucking driveway and she gets domed in a similar capacity. You think it can't happen to her, but it absolutely can. Okay? Or a stray bullet hits your niece or your nephew when she or he is playing in her fucking room. Why can't this dude death threat to me? Eat shit and die. Why? Because you're a fucking moron. Once again, why are people being so mean to me? Why are people being so mean to me? Insta-lock the cry-bully shit, okay? It's always the same. You come in, you justify straight-up murder, and then when someone gets mad at you and says, fuck you, kill yourself, or whatever, you start crying. It's always me, my feelings, my feelings. What about my feelings? What about my personal feelings? People forgot that if you were to do this in broad daylight, you'd probably get fucking smacked in the face. But because you're not doing this in broad daylight, you're doing this sheltered by anonymity on an online forum that is open to 40,000 people. This is fucking Madison Square Garden, okay? That, like, people are eventually going to say something that you don't like if you come in and try to justify something so heinous. It's so ridiculous. The real problem here is people are hurting my feelings on the internet when I tried to anonymously defend an execution in broad daylight in the hands of an unaccountable ICE agent. It's ridiculous.
It is loud, Dana, but this is very controlled. We've seen a lot of flare-ups between the public and law enforcement in Chicago, for example. This is a very controlled scene, although it is noisy. Again, we're continuing to try to find out more.
Just look at the framing of this. Yeah, look at this. Look. Minneapolis residents are in the streets attacking federal agents. Get the fuck out of Minneapolis, man. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. What are people supposed to do? What are people supposed to do? Arrest the murderer and also cease your operations because they are not justifiable to begin with. It's so crazy. It's like, oh no, we get to fucking violate everyone's humanity with regular fucking frequency and no one can be upset about it. You can't be upset. You can't protest. None of that. It comes from this place. It comes from this place of thinking like, no, if someone is wearing a fucking badge, they get to kill you. If someone is wearing a badge, they get to do whatever they want. They get to come into your house. They get to do whatever they want. There's no like legal process here. There's no like judges or courts that have to give you the proper clearance ahead of time. No investigations whatsoever. If someone's wearing a fucking badge, they get to do whatever the fuck they want. YouTuber Hosmer, at least the death of a citizen should be the full story headline. That's exactly what it is. And then people come in here in this circumstance and fucking cry about like the way that people are perceiving their idiotic justifications. Like, dude, think, man, think.
What happened, but Dana, that's the latest here.
Whitney, you probably can't hear yourself think because it's so loud there. It's a little hard for us to hear what you're saying because obviously there are a lot of people there who are quite angry. If you can hear me, and perhaps it's too early to know the answer to this, but it sounds like officials are being quite careful when they just say a shooting involving a federal agent. Does that mean that somebody who they were going after, who ICE was going after, was shot? Was there a shootout, or we don't know?
We don't know. We don't know yet. I don't know if you can hear me, but it's starting to get really spicy. So let me give you context of what is going on here. Dana, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I'm going to pull my microphone a little closer to my mouth. Okay. That's Police Chief Brian O'Hara right now. The crowd is really directing their frustration that direction at the moment. People here are really angry. We're hearing them yell at the Minneapolis Police Department. They don't feel like the Minneapolis Police Department is serving the Minneapolis voters, the Minneapolis taxpayers right now. And so right now what you're hearing is a lot of anger directed toward the local law enforcement here, even though they were not involved in this shooting, as far as we know, Dana.
All right, Whitney, we're gonna let you go. Obviously, it is interesting that you're saying that their anger is towards local law enforcement, I would imagine in addition to federal law enforcement, ICE agents in particular. So we're going to let you go. We're going to let you do some reporting. Stay safe, and we will get back to you as soon as you get more. Thanks so much for your terrific reporting, Whitney. DHS has confirmed that an individual has died. The alleged perpetrator.
I just checked in the Asmol chat. Chat's actually terrifying. How much of his chat thinks this is justified? And RIP Bozo. I don't know if he'll pivot or his piglets will. Some of them will. Some of them obviously recognize that they are closer to the victim in this situation than the fucking ICE agents that they fantasize as being. Okay? I cannot believe it, dude. This is so irresponsible. Wait until we've seen and know more. How dare you? As the sitting governor, further inflame an already charged situation by declaring the officer's defense propaganda shameful. No, Megyn Kelly, you're shameful. But to be fair, you don't have the capacity to feel shame. Just like when you defended pedophilia only a couple weeks ago, when it was clear that Donald Trump was defending his buddies and himself being all over the fucking Epstein files. And you came out and you literally said, oh, who amongst us? I mean, I have friends that want to fuck 14-year-olds. Like, it's fine. It's normal. She did say that. She did do that. So I expect this from the likes of Megyn Kelly, you know? You can't really shame people that have no capacity to feel shame. It's actually extra shameless because she has a daughter that is the age of the hypothetical victims here. Obey or die. Yeah.
Was hit and
the so-called free thinkers.
Deceased. ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. Can you fill in the blanks, Priscilla?
Yeah, Dana, let's set the scene here. So in Minneapolis right now, the Department of Homeland Security has surged thousands of agents. There are around 2,000 agents.
Yeah, optics-wise, though, shooting not even a young, but a 37-year-old Honda Pilot driving white woman from the Midwest is just not going to fucking work. It's just not going to work.
That have been Department of Homeland Security has surged thousands of agents. There are around 2,000 agents that have been deployed to the state of Minnesota, and there have been ongoing operations, especially in Minneapolis. So that is what has been ongoing in that city and in that area. And this morning, the Department of Homeland Security says that they were conducting what they call these targeted operations. That is to say that they went out to a location, they had a target in mind. Over the course of that operation.
That's bullshit, by the way. Remember, that's also fucking bullshit, because the only reason why they deployed ICE there to Minneapolis, was just because of the fucking slopaganda. That's it. Because it was a great distraction from the Epstein stuff. 100%. I won't say that the Venezuela thing is a distraction from Epstein. I think there's a broader reason for that, right? That's foreign policy in and of itself. That's American foreign policy that's like been designed a long time ago. But the reason why they deployed ICE to Minneapolis was because that was a fantastic way to move the conversation away from Donald Trump and his fucking pedophilic elite buddies being all up and down the Epstein files. They saw an opportunity and they seized on it. They hit the anti-Somali racism over and over again. The very fact that they were trying to say, like, this is a matter of immigrant apprehension is so ridiculous, because almost every single Somali living in Minneapolis is either an American citizen or has the proper paperwork. They're not undocumented immigrants, okay? It is very, very difficult. You make no sense. What are you saying? I make no sense. What? Chat. Cats are better than dogs. Cats smell like apple and pumpkin. Okay. I'm gonna time you out, okay, for your own mental health here. Anyway, Trump has released a fucking statement. I have just viewed the clip in the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. Wait, what? Bro, we have officially reached don't believe your lying eyes. Okay? Oh my God, he's trying to use this clip as a way to fucking make people pay attention to something that we can clearly see in broad daylight did not fucking happen. It is hard to believe he's still alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety. But the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Dude, I know that the information environment now does not actually does not actually have any sort of consensus reality or any sort of need for establishing consensus of reality. But that video is so fucking obviously ridiculous, and he's so clearly lying about it that I doubt that people will, like, anyone that sees this after hearing Donald Trump's assessment on it is going to go, come on, dude, you're fucking out of your mind. Like, this is such a flagrant lie. You have to have brain damage. What do you mean? I'm shocked that the cop is not he's like, he barely made it out alive out of the situation. He literally fucking is standing upright. He walks over with his fucking camera out. Another filter, another turning point here. Okay. Another filter moment, another turning point moment. If you look at the situation and try to fucking find, if you look at the situation and look at this as like, as a moment where this cop was actually hospitalized. Okay. That cop, the one that shot and killed the woman, is actually hospitalized. It's over for you. You're not going to make it. You're not going to fucking make it at all. Yeah, we already saw it. We already watched it. He's walking around, dude.
What the fuck did you do?
This is crazy. He walked over to the gal and then walked back, got in a car, and left the scene. Oh my God. Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. When people are now in the chat saying like, oh, well, I feared that they actually accomplished their goal. I'm now scared to protest, things like that. I need you to understand something, okay? You have power in numbers, okay? You have power in numbers. They can't get away with this shit unless you obey in advance, unless you actually succumb to the fears and you just say, all right, well, what can I do? I'm actually terrified that they're going to fucking kill me next. They might later down the line. If you let this go unnoticed, if you don't actually fucking protest against this shit, okay, that's it. If you obey in advance, then this administration will feel more emboldened. This administration will feel galvanized. They will feel like they can get away with doing this shit. You have to take a stand. Just as I was describing in a much smaller circumstance, like when people like Nick Shitley come out and it feels overwhelming, like everyone is defending it, everyone around you, people that you love. What, bro? Never say that shit. You want Americans to die? These are savage Nazis. Do not protest. The fuck are you talking about? Not only do I, of course, urge others to protest against this thing, I will also protest as well. What the fuck are you talking about? Do not protest? These guys are Nazis? What are you saying? If you don't protest now, it will actually become more violent later down the line. Protesting is the legal means of putting an end to this kind of madness, okay? What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? If you don't resist peacefully, those who make peaceful resistance unacceptable make violent resistance inevitable, okay? Because at some point, you're going to have to defend yourself, okay? Of course, with the legal means that are readily available to you right now as it stands, you have to exhaust those options. Because if you don't exhaust those options, if you don't go out and fucking protest, then they are going to feel more emboldened to take actions similar to this over and over again until they literally come and knock down your doorstep. Don't resist Nazis is crazy. Like, openly saying this statement is crazy. My coworkers are celebrating calling the woman that got murdered a whore that deserved it. I don't think you guys understand that we are in a new age where we can say whatever right-wing shit we like and let our nuts hang. Bro, they think the woman was brown. They don't care. They love when other people that don't like them die. Yeah, I am not going to encourage that kind of fucking fearful rhetoric in this chat, okay? We have to be bold. We have to be brave. We have to be strong. Because remember, we have the numbers, okay? If we didn't have the numbers, Elon Musk and his psychopathic elite pedophilic cabal would not be actively trying to game the algorithm in whichever way they can to make it seem like the overwhelming majority of Americans look at the situation and say, nah, this is good. You have to understand, yes, we do. We do have the numbers. Don't say we do not have the numbers. You're fucking wrong. You are delusional and wrong. And you will see that you're wrong. Just as initially, in the aftermath of October 7, people came in here and kept telling me, oh my God, this is actually unacceptable. How could you say this? Oh my God, this is unacceptable. How could you actually speak out on this kind of thing? How could you blame Israel at all for this? And look where we're at 2 years after. When now, those who were loud and proud, railing against Palestinians, saying that all Palestinians deserve whatever is coming to them, are silent. They're quiet. Because they recognize that this is a shameful thing to say. Okay? Attitudes change. It takes time.
About Minnesota, that's been pretty
You are
evident,
delusional to
but we love
think.
this.
You are delusional to think that we do not have the numbers in the situation. You have to trust in your fellow neighbors and your fellow Americans. You have to believe that they too can see right from wrong. Okay? If you give up on them with the notion that they will never understand, if you give up on the prospect of educating them, then it's over. You might as well fucking lean over and have the government roll over you. What's the alternative? You lay down and wait for your inevitable demise? It's ridiculous. Every day there are new people that are regretting voting for Donald Trump. And you're over here thinking, oh, this is unsalvageable, because you hyper-focus on shit that you see on the internet. You hyper-focus on people like Asmongold. You hyper-focus on their communities. You hyper-focus on Elon Musk. You hyper-focus on Twitter. And I play a role in this as well, because I show you what the right-wingers are thinking. And it causes you to feel like it's just overwhelmingly right-wing, okay? But the reason why I show you this stuff and the reason why I try to tackle these talking points specifically is so that I give you the tools to also combat this talking point in your own lives, okay? In the real world. That's the reason why I show you this shit. I don't show you this shit so you feel, oh man, there's nothing we can do. Every single person is lost. Every single person is a fucking lost cause. Might as well not fight. Might as well just fucking roll over and die. What are you talking about? We have the numbers, okay? The overwhelming majority of Americans look at the situation and recognize right from wrong. I promise you. And plenty who don't actually have the capacity to empathize and understand if you talk to them like human beings. This kind of stuff doesn't change overnight. It's not magically changing. You have to be the change you want to see, okay? You have to make it happen. You can't just like sit idly by and hope that, you know, cooler minds will prevail. There's a mental plague that we are isolated against this evil right-wing majority, when the reality is many in America are afraid to oppose these actions, and more who stand up. And the more who stand up, the safer it becomes to do, chat. Exactly. This is something that I've tried to describe to people as a microcosm in our little corner of the internet, okay? I know that there are a lot of normies who are tuning in today because this is a situation that they want to learn about, so maybe they don't understand the Twitch dynamic. But this is precisely what I've talked about for the Twitch watchers, for the YouTube watchers, for the people who are extremely online. This is precisely why I kept urging others to speak out, okay? Over and over again for the past 2 years on the genocide in Gaza, and urging others to speak out against right-wing figures that were justifying Trump's actions. And a lot of people who saw that this kind of stuff was fucked up. A lot of people, for example, who think what Asmongold is saying is like completely ridiculous. Okay, very violent and unacceptable, did not say anything. And the reason why they didn't say anything was because they were terrified. Okay, they were terrified of getting bullied. They were terrified of being cyberstalked. They were terrified in general. But the reason why I tried to urge others to also speak out was because there are more of us than there are of them. Okay, the reason why they feel emboldened is because Trump and Elon Musk and numerous other right-wing figures have basically created this media environment, especially on the internet, where they have made people feel falsely, they've made people feel like they are dominating the discourse. The only reason why they are dominating the discourse on the internet is because people are too afraid to speak out against it. People are too afraid to call it out. People are too afraid to say, what the fuck are you saying? This is completely ridiculous. Okay? That's it. And for far too long, for the past couple of years, a lot of people that felt emboldened to speak out and say that they're, pro Black Lives Matter, against police brutality when we were in the peak woke environment, have actually stopped talking about this stuff because they're too afraid of their own audiences turning on them. They're too afraid of people bullying them. They're too afraid of people yelling at them. But someone has to do it, okay? Someone has to embolden others to give them the courage to also do it as well. And slowly but surely, things are changing. This is why a lot of you are also recognizing that, woke 2 is coming back, right? But you have to play a role in making sure that other people also feel confident enough to speak out against those who are justifying these sorts of ridiculous, violent actions. Okay? Someone's got to do it. You have to be that someone, so that you give confidence to others as well. Because at the end of the day, when every single person that recognizes right from wrong comes out and speaks out against these atrocities, you will truly realize that we do have the numbers, not them. Okay? People think that progress is inevitable. People think that the slant of history always aligns with justice, but you never get there unless there are willing participants who will push it there. People who fight back no matter what, people who have moral convictions, people who don't stop resisting. You have to be a part of this.
An ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We have been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today, that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this: please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community, they're business owners, they're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait. We will.
Yeah, bro. Okay, put the National Guard on the side of the protesters and arrest the ICE officers. Okay, I mean they can't. The National Guard can't do a detention like that. But get the local law enforcement. Get local law enforcement to arrest the ICE officers. Fuck it. Constitutional. Fucking create a constitutional panic. Put your pussy on the line for once. God damn.
Continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Because it feels like you're deploying the National Guard specifically against the protesters who are very mad for understandable reasons.
serve as
Create a constitutional crisis. Air it out. Let your nuts hang. Big dog, come on now.
the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. First of all, I want to acknowledge the reason that we are all here.
Yeah, show them your weed is louder than theirs. Show them your bitches are badder than theirs. Let your fucking nuts hang, big dog. What are we doing?
The loss of life is not anything anyone would ever want. We fully expect that the community will want to peacefully demonstrate their anger or frustration. Minnesota residents and visitors have the right to peacefully demonstrate. We recognize that demonstrations are often...
That's so fucking funny. CBS News in real time showing cops just fucking brutalizing. And those are, the green ones are Homeland Security, so I assume this is DHS. These are federal law enforcement just fucking bear spraying, macing the fuck out of people. Direct contact.
Driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and certainly a desire to be heard. Our role is to help ensure everyone can express themselves.
It's not like you got a re-election to lose, just fuck it, do it.
Without anyone getting hurt. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety's role through the Minnesota State Patrol is to ensure safety.
If you were the woman, would you have stopped and gotten out of the car? Would you have tried to almost steamroll an officer and go about your merry way? I would have tried to get out of the road like she was doing. Get out of the way of the cops. Yeah, that's what I would have done. I like that you are still trying to justify this, though. Respect, Krabby Patty Crabs. You fucking boot-licking cuck. One day it's going to be your mother in a similar situation, okay? So you'll come in here, and only then will you realize, like, maybe it was a little fucked up. Right now, you imagine yourself in the shoes of the powerful ICE agent. One day, you will see the truth. We are trying to stop that from happening. We are trying to make sure that people understand that this is unacceptable. Make sure the administration understands that this is unacceptable so that your loved ones are not in a similar predicament, okay? Because if it was your mother who was driving that car, I doubt that you would have this kind of energy. I doubt you'd be like, oh, Todd, why didn't you just get out of the fucking car? Bruh, I'm just asking a question. Bitch, we know what kind of fucking question you're asking. You ain't slick. Deep-throating the fucking boot. Come on. Oh, I was just asking a question. Why are you being mean?
Protect
Dumbass.
constitutional rights, keep roads accessible, and above all, to prevent harm. Our top priority.
I was just asking a question in fucking broad day. I was asking a question that made it seem as though, once again, made it seem as though this was a justifiable, totally legal kill in the hands of an unaccountable ICE force, okay? No, I'm just asking a question. No, you weren't. You were adding intent, okay?
Is public safety. Our focus is keeping demonstrators, community members, drivers, and law enforcement safe, especially during moments of heightened tension or uncertainty. Demonstrations must remain safe and lawful, particularly around roadways. We will join with our partners to support safety.
Americans do love thinking that they are, they're descendants of people who really stuck it to the fucking British monarchy and shit. And I'm not kidding when I say this, like, the most cucked country, I think. Like, straight up peasant mentality, straight up serf mentality. Some of the most servile people I have ever fucking encountered in my life. The only time where they actually behave like they're fucking powerful is when they're fantasizing about the American government or the American military doing force projections overseas against heads of state in countries that we have economically fucking dominated, okay? The only time where they actually feel powerful is when they're actually punching someone who's down. That's it. You are not a powerful country, okay? You are not a powerful people if you actually find yourself defending members of the federal law enforcement when they're murdering your fucking neighbors, when they're murdering civilians in broad fucking daylight. That's not powerful, dude. You are servile, okay?
And there'll be more videos. We're in a world with lots of videos, which is a good
Oh,
thing
yeah, there's going to be more videos. Oh, this is so many videos.
for getting to the truth.
Let's look at this live shot that we're seeing right now. We just saw some black vehicle vans moving their way through, and now you see snowballs flying in this group.
I don't know if you've seen the video, but this part corroborates the witness account that the woman was. I know. The woman was trying to do a U-turn before the Gestapo tried to immediately open her car door. I know. The first couple of seconds in this video show that, like, she is waving them off and trying to get out of the way. And then another pickup truck comes in, rolls in, unmarked pickup, by the way, with fucking cop lights on. They get out and immediately try to pull her out of the car. Tired of being politically correct. Another angle. Veteran. I love the USA. X is the only place to get real news. I repost interesting things. Yeah. Again, this is what I mean. These are like the so-called libertarians, like the people who hate like unjustifiable actions made by the state. They think tyranny is only when, like, the government says, hey, in order to make sure that you survive, we have to vaccinate you and your children. That's what they think is fucking tyrannical. Not this shit. Not real tyranny. Not real, unchecked, unjustifiable, unlawful actions in the hands of a militarized state that gets to fucking kill you and your neighbors and not even seek out an ounce of accountability. It's so funny that Donald Trump is also lying, that saying that the guy was injured and hospitalized when you literally see him walking around, when you see the fucking car doing nothing to the person.
Of individuals that are moving. You've got law enforcement in the front of this group that look like they're walking backwards, so they're being pushed, is the way it looks, backwards by protesters who are throwing snowballs at them right now. Let's bring in Victor Avila. Let's stay on this live shot as we bring in Victor, retired ICE special agent, now assistant director for the Office of National Drug Control Policy in the administration.
That's the thing, like, they can't get all of us, okay? I mean, it sounds crazy to say it like this, but, like, when you have overwhelming numbers, it becomes impossible, okay? That's it. You have overwhelming numbers. It becomes impossible for the state to enforce its will, okay? So at that point, they have to back away. They have to stand down. They have to reconfigure. They have to listen to the demands being made by the public, because these are the fucking taxpayers, okay? These are you, okay? These are people just like yourselves.
Victor, thank you for being here. I don't know, can you see what we're seeing live on screen right now? Are you able to or not?
Yes, I could see it, Martha. And there'll be more.
I cannot believe Donald Trump tried to be like, oh, this person was hospitalized.
Do everything possible to get to the bottom of this.
All right, we saw Jacob Fry's.
If you would, give me your name and kind of look over this way instead of at the phone.
Sure. My name is Aiden Perzana.
Can you spell those for me?
Yeah, AIDANPER, Z as in zebra, ANA.
Okay. So just tell me in general, I mean, what did you see out here this morning?
Well, I have a 1 month at home, so I was just getting up. He had woken me up and was getting dressed when I heard all of the horns and.
CNN, this is a live feed that we're getting an aerial view of law enforcement. They've removed that perimeter where they were investigating the
really
scene.
Trailing these law enforcement vehicles and throwing, again, snowballs and chunks of ice at these vehicles, Boris.
Oh God, CNN is so cop-cucked. It's crazy.
And we're continuing to.
They are not there to do real fucking journalism. They're there to do state propaganda. Okay, I'm sorry. There are some in mainstream news that will actually report from the perspective of the average citizen, but CNN clearly is not one of them. There are some at even CNN who do that, but, you know, these reporters that are immediately on the scene are not doing that at all. They're just simply looking at this from the perspective of, like, law enforcement, from the perspective of the government. They are there to normalize the state violence. They are there to justify the state violence.
Watch this. This is a live feed that we are getting an aerial.
But even the fact that they openly see that the local population is understandably furious that one of their neighbors was just executed in fucking broad daylight, and they're throwing snowballs at the cops. They go, oh, well, they're throwing ice. I mean, it's dangerous. What if the snowballs are packed with cement? What if a cop dies in this situation by getting struck in the head with a snowball? You know? Here, let's look at what fucking Fox News is saying, which is not going to be that dissimilar to what CNN is saying, obviously. They're probably fucking screaming bloody murder on Fox News as well.
That second one harder to see. It's from across the street. We have a third
Why is it
video
hard? The
that
second
we
one is
also-
harder to see that Donald Trump
as
was
well.
using
Let's
as
take a look at
propaganda.
this one from a higher angle, and you see this is the car after the shooting as it plows into two cars that were parked on the street there. Carrie, your thoughts on these videos and on what you just heard? We've got just 20 seconds left.
What we don't have video of, Martha, and it's very important, is what happened right before that. And context and circumstances matter because that's what's going to matter in the court of law. These situations are always very fact specific, and it boils down to the perspective of the
Great Satan. Great Satan. The truth comes out. It's Satan. They're satanic, ladies and gentlemen.
After an ICE-involved shooting.
Real
These
voice.
are live
I
pictures
smell
from
the sulfur through the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox News is controlled by demonic entities.
Showing what happened earlier today between protesters and ICE. We're working on bringing you those videos. You can see one of them on your screen as we speak. Basically, here's what it describes. It shows agents in a truck pulling up to a car that appears to be blocking the road. The two agents get out. They walk up to the driver's side of the car. From there, things escalate quickly. One agent touches the car, and the driver starts driving backwards with the agent's hand still on the car. The driver then hits the gas while another agent appears to be standing in front of the vehicle. That agent, more in front of the car, appears to open fire as the car barrels towards him. DHS.
Bro, they can't even defend it. Touches the car. Remember this same playbook? Later on, the DOJ dropped the charges. Yeah. The way Noam describes this is so eerily similar to the Department of Homeland Security. The way the Department of Homeland Security described Miramar Martinez in Chicago. Back then, Martinez was labeled a domestic terrorist who ambushed Border Patrol and rammed their vehicle. She was also shot, though she survived. The DOJ later dropped the charges against her. They do this every single fucking time. Okay? Remember, they did this, and the video there, they said the exact same thing in the video there. They were like, oh, this is actually a terrorist. This is a domestic terrorist that was trying to hunt down ICE agents. They shot her. Luckily, she didn't get killed. She survived the incident. And they dropped the fucking charges. But the reason why they come out of the gate swinging with these fucking charges is because there are a lot of dumb dullards out there who want any sort of justification for this kind of fucking unjustifiable death and destruction, as long as it's their state doing it, as long as it's their regime doing it, okay? So because nobody actually follows up on this shit, it doesn't really matter when they drop the charges later down the line. It's no different than the Maduro case where they were like, oh, he's a part of the cartel of the sun, right? They went in with that narrative over and over again for months. Cartel of the sun, cartel of the sun. I kept telling you there's no evidence for this whatsoever. And lo and behold, a day after Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio went on television and was talking about cartel of the sun. A day after that, the Department of the DEA and the DOJ dropped the fucking charges and basically removed Cartel of the Sun from their indictment. They tried to do it quietly. Why did they do that? Because they knew that there was no evidence for it. But it doesn't matter. The reason why it doesn't matter is because, unfortunately, we do not have consensus reality anymore. What matters is narrative. Narrative overcomes truth, as I say over and over again. And in a dangerous disinformation environment such as this one, the media has a lot of fucking opportunities to really change the discourse, okay? Especially when there are still plenty of people, especially boomers, who trust mainstream media, who actually trust the administration in general. They have not realized that the administration is openly and actively lying to them, okay? The administration is using this as an opportunity. Is this not literally the stated reason for a Second Amendment's existence, to protect from a tyrannical government? Yes, but all the Second Amendment enjoyers actually love using their guns on fucking random people that have no power and justify state violence in general. Things are finally changing, though. I will say, at least in our little corner of the fucking internet, at least in our little corner of the universe, all these people who spent most of their time fucking defending Israel and attacking people like myself are finally coming to terms with the reality that Asmongold is a dangerous right-wing propagandist, and they're finally fucking putting Asmongold in the crosshairs rather than actively fomenting hatred towards someone like myself for doing so for the past 2 fucking years. It will change eventually. People will, all the centrists, all the liberals, all the slop tubers that have spent all of their fucking time and effort attacking someone like myself for criticizing Asmongold will finally fucking turn around and realize that, you know, this is an indefensible incident. You'll see. You'll see. It's always the same. One day, everyone will have always been against this, okay? It's wild. People didn't know he was bad. The reason why people didn't know he was bad is because, like I said earlier, a lot of the fucking slop tubers get their notes from Reddit. They're Reddit plagiarizers, okay? I said it yesterday. They're a lot of the centrists, a lot of the liberals, they only fucking cover the news from the perspective of drama. They have no interest in covering it from an ideological position. They have no interest in covering things from a policy perspective. It's much easier to just like farm outrage and just like reassert Reddit talking points that they found over and over again. And Reddit is endlessly fucking bottable. It's very clearly easy to manipulate. Twitter, if all your talking points are coming from Twitter and Reddit is just the stomping ground of Atlantis' Natsec liberalism that is inherently right wing but masquerades as like liberal, okay? And Twitter is obviously fucking neo-Nazi, full tilt, unvarnished neo-Nazi propaganda. And that's all you see. Your centrism is going to be out of whack with what the actual people are seeing, what the actual people are experiencing. In any case, slowly but surely, as the tide shift becomes glaringly obvious, those who are hanging on to this like weird centrism because they're deluded by what they see on Reddit, they're deluded by what they see as like the primary villain on Twitter, will slowly but surely make up their own fucking minds. And it's coming. That's why I keep saying it's going to happen. It's wise to withhold judgment on the shooting until the facts are clear, but I have to say I'm grateful for modern technology. It makes it much harder for the government officials to get away with lying, and government really, really likes to lie. This is Billy Binion from Reason. Reason is one of the only libertarian magazines that's still anti-police violence. One of the only libertarian like bastions that actively targets police violence and is also pro-immigration. Says, I think a lot of people really underestimate how common it is for government agencies to tell the public total distortions after a tragedy and or controversy. And until very recently, before tech was so ubiquitous, society just kind of had to accept their word at face value. Now I'm going to actually take a sidestep here and explain to you something for a minute and 38 seconds. Okay? I'm going to show you something, a story that Barack Obama participated in, a story that you will be very familiar with, and the actions of a government that you are seeing take place on domestic soil.
Happened on October 3rd, 2015. On that day, an American military gunship attacked a hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan. This was not a military base. It was a trauma center run by the famous aid group Doctors Without Borders. For about 30 minutes, the aircraft circled overhead, firing repeatedly and precisely at the hospital buildings. The gunship fired 211 shells in total. Inside, the scene was a nightmare. Some patients burned alive in their beds because they could not move. Doctors lost their limbs or were decapitated by shrapnel while trying to operate. As people tried to run from the burning buildings to escape, they were shot from the air. By the time the attack ended, at least 42 people were dead, including doctors, nurses, and patients. The hospital had given its exact GPS coordinates to the US military just days before, specifically to prevent something like this from happening. Even while the bombs were falling, hospital staff were frantically calling military officials, begging them to stop, but the strikes continued. After the attack, the American explanation changed several times. First, officials said they were protecting troops on the ground. Then, they claimed the Afghan army had asked for the strike. Finally, the U.S. command...
Wait a minute. Oh, the official narrative was after blowing up a hospital for 30 minutes, a hospital that was Doctors Without Borders hospital that had European doctors inside of it. The official narrative in the immediate aftermath of this story, under Obama, by the way, was... Oh, well, this was actually a military compound.
Commander admitted it was a specific decision made by American forces, but called it a tragic mistake caused by human error and broken equipment. Some officials tried to claim that Taliban fighters were hiding in the hospital, using civilians as human shields. Doctors Without Borders...
Remember that? Taliban was inside of the hospital using the hospital as a human shield, using the patients as a human shield.
Orders flatly denied this, explaining that they had a strict no weapons policy and that the compound was full of doctors and patients.
The point is, it's not an Israel reference. America's been doing this, okay? I know it's harder for people to swallow this truth pill, okay? That's the real truth. The real truth nuke is that this is what America has always done. Okay? This is what America's been doing. It's easier for people to comprehend that someone is doing this. It's easier for people to comprehend that this is fucked up and common practice when you point to Israel. And Israel does do it more frequently than America does, let's be real. Okay? And they do it in a worse way than America does. But the reality of the matter is we do it too. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because we've done it overseas and we're currently doing it on domestic soil. You understand? That's the reason why I'm showing you this.
Soldiers. In the end, President Obama apologized, and the military punished 16 people with administrative discipline, but no one was ever charged with a crime. The Pentagon concluded that because it was an accident, it was not a war crime. The doctors and the United Nations called for an independent investigation, arguing that a military cannot fairly investigate its own actions, but that investigation never happened. Mahmoudiyya killings.
Okay, I mean, we'll get to the rest of these massacres later, but this is a video called The Pain Explainer, Every Major U.S. War Crime in 20 Minutes. Okay, the reason why I'm showing you that is because that is precisely what Kirsty Noem said. Instantly. First statement out of the gates is, oh, well, this person deserved it. They were a terrorist. They were doing domestic terrorism. The difference, of course, is that this is not happening in Afghanistan. This is happening in your backyard. And no matter how much Americans can justify this kind of state violence when it's directed towards faceless, lifeless, otherwise brown people, they can actually humanize the victim in this circumstance because this looks like your suburb. This looks like your neighborhood. The person is driving a car similar to the car that your mother drives. It's a Honda Pilot with fucking decals and stickers in the back. Okay, the 37-year-old victim in this situation is someone you can see, that someone you can identify as a person in your neighborhood. Okay, so when the admin tries to bring the imperialism to your fucking doorstep, and that's basically what fascism is. It's colonialism turned inwards. Okay. People do understand that this is unacceptable and fucked up. Now, there will always be those who defend it. There will always be those who defend it, like these fucking demons on Fox News. But that doesn't mean you should stop protesting it.
To get in the way, to obstruct law enforcement doing its job. And that never ends well for anyone.
Yeah, I have a lot more to say about the politicians in Minnesota coming up a little bit later. And let's leave behind the legal analysis. That, too, we will return to in just a moment. Because what's happening right now, Jack, to your and Ken point, is there is a trial that has already begun in the court of public opinion. When these types of situations occur, reaction is almost immediate with everyone's...
Brother, there was a trial that took place with Lake and Riley, but that didn't stop the Republican movement from utilizing that as a point of propaganda to give overwhelming power and lack of accountability to fucking Bortak, okay? This is the SWAT team for ICE, chatters. They are not supposed to be there. You understand? Bortak is not equipped to do crowd control at all. Bortak is the Border Patrol's tactical team, okay? That's Border Patrol's, that's ICE's very own SWAT team. The fact that they're on the ground over there is insane. It's disgusting that these monsters are so predisposed. These monsters are so predisposed with defending the fucking regime. And there are many monsters not dissimilar to the likes of Will Kane in our communities as well. Okay? There are monstrous scumbags who are doing state propaganda right now, like Asmongold and like many other right-wingers. Okay? They're so fucking... Their primary goal here is to justify whatever the fuck the Trump administration is doing. So much so that they lose sight of their own humanity. They lose sight of what is right and wrong. They can't even take a step. They can't even take a fucking breather. take a step back and go, yeah, this is actually kind of fucked up. You know, I'll say it. They have to wait for the overwhelming majority to yell at them, to finally come to terms with the reality here that this was just straight up murder.
Understand the difference between what we've seen from Trump administration officials and what we have typically seen in the past.
And you're right. You often do have mayors and governors come out and give statements and potentially give political statements. And the Justice Department and the federal government have a responsibility to make sure that they get all of the facts before coming out and making conclusions. And what happened with Kristi Noem is what should have happened if she were a responsible DHS secretary. If she should have called for an investigation.
What are you saying? That's never going to happen. You know that that's a different reality. You are living in an alternative reality. You're making it seem like this is a normal administration. This is what she's done every single time ICE has actually shot someone. They automatically say it's domestic terrorism and it was totally warranted. That's their number one statement right out of the fucking gates. They come out swinging. What the fuck are we doing? You know that that's not what they've done. Just say it. Just say it out loud. Just say that that is not what this administration is doing. They haven't done this ever. And it's very clear that it's because they want to foment discontent so they can justify even more aggressive persecution. So they can justify fucking martial law.
Amy Ested, briefly, I mean, the reality of this is that it is an explosively difficult situation that is going to explode our politics, most likely.
Right, no question. And I spoke to some law enforcement officials who made this point. I'm just going to read what the person said. Have the rules of engagement and the ICE raid tactics led to more violence? They look at this and they say, this is not the way these things were carried out before the Trump administration.
Yeah, I think that context is important. Over the last couple months, there's been an intentional effort to ramp up these deportations. We have seen Stephen Miller make kind of projections about what he wants, 1,000 a day in terms of apprehensions. I think that kind of chaos has created a tinderbox that has, unfortunately led to some of the scenes that I think we see today. And I think that chaos is a logical result of that mass deployment of federal agents.
All right, and we are just learning that the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, is expected to go to Minneapolis Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, after this ICE-involved shooting. All right, our breaking news coverage is going to continue throughout the hour on this story. We've got two senators with us today, Republican John Kennedy, Democrat Mark Kelly.
Oh, God, John Kennedy. Yeah, Kristi Noem, the dog murderer, by the way.
Use it politically. They don't care about the people involved. They don't care about the ICE officer getting home to his family tonight. They don't care about the citizen who was tragically killed because of her own poor decision making, frankly. They don't care about those people. They care about school.
Dude, I think we need to be, I think liberals need to be, not even we, because we are obviously giving the smoke that is necessary in this situation. But I think liberals in general need to be way more ruthless. Liberals in mainstream media need to be way more ruthless. Like this, what they are doing, this kind of commentary is so insane. Like they're victim blaming when the body has not even fucking, the body hasn't even gotten cold yet. And they're already going, oh, nobody actually cares about the slain person at all. They're just trying to, propagandize against our big, beautiful members of law enforcement. Like, they're so fucking shameless and evil. Liberals need to be more aggressive in their commentary. Okay? You need to actually meet this with the same level of intensity that it deserves. So basically they're treating a white woman like a black teen. Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's getting to that point. And I think every black person already knows it was inevitably going to get to that point. That's precisely what's happening. It's crazy. Look, man, if right-wingers are justifying a white woman getting killed like this, it's over. You know what I mean? It's just like this is a new environment.
Some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
That is not leadership. That is sedition. It's encouraging people to interfere with the lawful actions of the state. And when a mayor uses his office to delegitimize federal law enforcement in the immediate aftermath of a deadly incident, it's not protecting his city. He's putting people in danger.
They're ripping families apart. They're sowing chaos on our streets. And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense.
This right here is not a partisan thing, man. Okay, I don't know how to explain it to people. I know there's like a lot of people in here. I'm sure there's like Asmongold fans in here who are a little confused today because they are seeing Asmongold like justify fucking straight up murder, and they're tuning into this broadcast instead to see an alternative perspective that they might not have gotten in the past. This is not about right versus left. Okay, this is about right versus wrong. Okay, this is about the government versus the people. Okay, I need you to understand this. This is not about partisanship. It is not about partisanship. Propagandists in the media will try to turn this into a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue. You, regardless of who you voted for, what your perspective is, what you personally believe, have the capacity to look at a situation like this and recognize right from wrong. I believe in you. Okay? And if you recognize right from wrong in this circumstance, you should also protest against ICE. You should also protest against this kind of fucking unlawful murder happening in broad fucking daylight. It doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter what you believe prior to this moment. You have the capacity to see right from wrong. I believe in you. Okay? It is completely unacceptable. And these people recognize right from wrong, and they're taking it to the fucking streets and say, get the fuck out of here. You don't belong here. You need to leave our streets. You need to stop terrorizing us. And they are getting brutalized for that. They're getting brutalized for that, even though they are in the wrong. These guys, Bortak is in the wrong. Why the fuck is there a special weapons and tactics team for ICE operating in fucking Minneapolis? The reality of the matter is, the very fact that they were deployed here was not to actually prosecute fraud. I hope you understand this, because the fraud has been prosecuted already. Investigations are being conducted already. And even if every single Somali in Minneapolis was doing fraud, you don't use ICE to prosecute them. You don't use ICE to apprehend them. You want to know why? Because all the fucking Somalis in Minneapolis are American citizens, or at least documented immigrants. This is not like Guatemalan migrants. This is not the same as like talking about Venezuelans on TPS. Somalia is very far away. You can't just come from Somalia to the United States of America and immigrate illegally, okay? I'm going to repeat this one more time, whether people want to recognize this or not. 90% of Somalis in Minneapolis and 90% of Somalis on U.S. soil are Americans, okay? They are American citizens. They are American citizens, okay? 60% of them are U.S.-born, native American citizens, like native-born citizens, okay? They were born on U.S. soil. Not native, sorry, natural. If you want the 40-plus suburb Facebook replies to the video, notice how no other agent had a gun drawn, turned into an argument about if it was self-defense. He also put the officer at the door in danger. What if the bullet ricocheted, or if he suddenly leaned into the vehicle? So far, people don't trust the official narrative on old social media. Yeah, I mean, it's such a glaringly obvious example of just like the type of violence that these guys normally justify overseas happening to a white woman in a fucking Honda Pilot that is 37 years old. Like, this is, in this circumstance, I know people will say, oh, you don't give a shit if it's a black person or a black teenager being on the receiving end of this kind of state violence. And unfortunately for many Americans, they don't see it, okay? They don't see it if it's overseas. They don't recognize it as evil if it's happening to someone who is like easily otherized or dehumanized. But they do absolutely see it in this circumstance, because it is someone that is their neighbor. It is someone that is a loved one. They can put themselves in the shoes of this person, okay? That's why I think this could potentially be a turning point for many Americans who maybe have looked away at ICE brutality up until this very moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, Will, the reason that I have to do this live shot from here instead of within the actual area where their confrontation's taking place right now.
Yeah, it is the full-blown Israelification of the United States.
And it's very
They're literally doing butt Hamas, dude. They're doing butt Hamas. They're saying it's a domestic terrorist. It's crazy. Yeah, the single bullet hole is to the far side as well. Photo of the vehicle is also damning for the ICE agent. The single bullet hole is to the far side, appears to be curved part of the windshield. If the agent was in front of the vehicle, this angle would not have hit her in the head. Also, where did the 2 other rounds enter? From the side with the open window. The reason why they're doing this, the reason why that guy did this is because he's a fucking asshole. Okay? He's an asshole who knows that he could, or we'll see how it works. We'll see how this situation turns out, but he thinks he can get away with murder. We cannot let that happen. Okay? A power-hungry murderer. Asman is saying guys standing in front of a cop car should be put in a box and round up about 10,000 protesters and put them in a camp to shut it down quick, literally promoting authoritarian dictatorship. He's just a weak, ineffective, cowardly person who's trying to lean into the administration, the government's fucking repressive methods to make himself and others who are tuning in feel powerful. Okay? That's it. That's it. This is commentary from a deeply insecure, deeply scared person. It's weak, it's cowardly, it's frail. This is the motivating principle of fucking Nazis as well, historically. Feeling like they've been wronged by society and hoping that the state actually enacts some violence to others who are their ideological opponents. Not realizing, once again, that this is not a partisan issue. ICE just shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis, a U.S. citizen. How long before we say enough is enough? Elon Musk, she tried to run people over. No, she didn't. And here's the evidence. She's turning the front wheels of her car to the right, away from the ICE officer on her left. If she was trying to run him over, why would she turn in the other direction? There is no response to this. They cannot fucking respond to this. They can't respond to that. They can't respond to the fact that the bullet hole entered through the fucking side of the windshield, the first bullet. They can't. Because they don't care about the truth. They just want to justify whatever kind of fucking violence that like these MAGA thugs are engaging in. Because they want to make this a partisan issue. This is not a partisan issue, chat. It's not. This is not an issue about right versus left. This is an issue with right versus wrong. You need to understand that. That's it. Yeah. It's a good exercise in ideology to see which people will watch the video and then let Trump decide for them what they saw. That's it. We will see. We will see if people have the capacity to see a broad daylight murder, an assassination, or they let Trump do their thinking for them. And I think that there will be some people who will let Trump do their thinking for them. There will be others who watch the video and try to justify it. But I think most people will look at the situation, like most Trump supporters will look at the situation with a totally biased framework and justify it, even though Trump is fucking straight up lying about a thing that they can see with their own 2 eyes. We shall see. Is propaganda and ideological predisposition more powerful than what you can fucking see and comprehend with your own 2 eyes? There's another angle that shows a bullet hole in the front of the windshield. It's not. Also, you can literally see. You can see that not only was this dude not even remotely injured, for the record. I mean, this is, look. I mean, right there. He's right there. That's the guy who shot the person and killed the person. Do content creators like Asmongold genuinely believe she was trying to run them over? Is that just part of the grift? No, it's part of the grift. It's 100% part of the grift. Wow, I can't believe. Yeah, how did he survive? How did he survive this cold-blooded execution that he engaged in? Recovering in the hospital. Hassan, inform the grand names that it's super expensive to immigrate here. It cost my family $40,000, 2.5 million swaga pesos to move here due to medical, legal, and paperwork fees. Africans, East and West Asians who immigrate to America are business owners and actually educated people compared to the cockroach streamers and watchers. Yeah, I mean, that people never realize that, but like, yeah. The poorer the country of origin is, the more likely the person that is coming to the United States of America is like very wealthy and very educated as well. America makes it unimaginably difficult to immigrate here, especially from a place like Nigeria or Somalia. Yeah. It's hard to believe he's alive, but he's now recovering in the hospital. He was walking around at the fucking crime scene. Are you kidding me? I'm going to quote retweet that with this photo. Remotely harmed. The 37-year-old Honda pilot. MAGA loyalists unconditionally believe Trump is over what they can see in the footage. Another filtering moment. Sorry. I'm tweeting. Frenchman here, just checking what we might be dealing with in 2 years. Hope y'all don't stay fucked for too long. We are fucked. If the victim was a white cop and the shooter was a black Somali, Asmongold would not be giving him this self-defense plausible deniability bullshit. Yeah, 100%. Because it's a totally fucking racist. Here it is, by the way. This is the piece of shit that killed that 37-year-old U.S. citizen in Minnesota. This is him walking to a vehicle and leaving the fucking crime scene after he took a life like it was just a notch on his belt.
You! Shame! 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 Dude, what's happening to her? What happened?
The fact that they also wear masks is so insane, dude. Yes, I've heard reports about how they stopped a doctor from actually going up to the victim and helping the victim. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that verified yet. Oh wait, never mind. This is from the Atlantic. Okay, so it is real. Okay, a doctor at the scene attempted to help the woman who was shot, but was kept away by federal agents. When an ambulance finally arrived, it was blocked from reaching her by law enforcement vehicles, and paramedics had to reach her on foot. This is literally what they do in the West Bank, chat. This is Israel. This is straight up Israel shit. Oh my God. You can hear it here. Yeah, this video I didn't want to show before because I mean, it's harrowing. It's terrifying because you can hear the person's wife, the victim's wife, like crying in the background with their dog. So I don't want to show it to you. I'm trying to see the... Yeah, ICE did nothing to help the woman who they murdered. Only when MPD and fire got there, they carried the woman's lifeless body to the corner and gave her CPR. That's crazy. They literally had to come in on foot. You can see them carrying the victim, and they had to come in on foot. The paramedics had to come in on foot. That video, it shows the doctor trying to help her and later shows the EMT carry her off. What is this? Nigga! What? Bro, why are you fucking sending me dumbass links like that, man? The fuck is wrong with you? It's loud as hell, too. Oh, I can't fucking... it's so ridiculous.
A year
dude.
ago in Minneapolis,
Fox News is doing full-blown... by the way, unlimited coverage on this from Fox News. I know it was Hood Genius. I know. Shut the fuck up. Fox News is doing full-tilt propaganda here trying to defend this shit for the record.
Interpretation.
Well, it's reasonable. What would be reasonable for someone on the scene in this particular situation? And reasonableness, obviously...
How do we get people to empathize again? Easy. It's going to happen eventually. More and more people are getting pissed off every single day. More and more people start recognizing right from wrong every single day. The more people actually lean away from naysayers, lean away from those who are just like very clearly regime propagandists, the more there is an environment of permission about expressing discontent, the more people will feel bold enough to come out and speak out against this stuff. Okay? That's it. It's already happening. In the small corner, that we exist in online, it's already happening. Someone in the chat was asking like, oh, when will Asmongold like change his perspective instead of like unconditionally defending this shit? I'll tell you when. The day that, bought it or not, the day that there are more people in here watching me than watching him is the day that he'll actually reconsider his framework and will start leaning away from the Trump administration. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's coming. You'll see. That's the day he will come in and say, hey, I'm willing to debate. I'm willing to have a conversation about this sort of stuff. So numbers mean more to him than a person being killed? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's why his audience constantly is projecting, saying, oh, I bet Hassan's real mad right now. Yeah, I am mad. Not about what you think I am mad about, though. I'm mad about a fucking unaccountable administration. I'm mad about unlimited bloodshed. I'm mad about doing bloodshed overseas and doing very similar styles of bloodshed here on U.S. soil against American citizens, against undocumented migrants, documented migrants, and also American citizens. That's it. That's what I'm fucking mad about. Not some other dumb, like, drama-related shit that you think I'm mad about. I'm also mad that there is an environment now that where people just get away with saying whatever the fuck they think they can get away with. They get away with saying whatever they want as long as it's in the direction of defending this administration, as this administration increases its cruel actions. Okay? That's what I'm actually fucking mad about. This morning, an ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. Only the latest horror in a year full of cruelty as ICE attacks our neighbors across America is an attack on us all. New York stands with immigrants today and every day that follows. Why did the ICE vid get taken down? I don't know which video you're talking about, but here's a witness basically describing what was taking place there here.
This morning.
Basically, ladies trying to warn everyone ICE is in the neighborhood.
Look, up there it is. ICE officers trained never to approach a vehicle from the front, DHS official says. Slowly but surely, first they come out and they say it was totally justified, this was domestic terrorists. Then they'll say, okay, maybe this ICE agent wasn't following the proper fucking code of conduct here.
Just letting them know, hey, and telling ICE, hey, you're destroying families, whatnot. Stop doing this. Hey, get out of here. Stop that. She reversed so traffic can go by. Pickup truck, gray pickup truck. Officer ICE got out and was telling her, hey, well, didn't tell her anything, really. Just telling her what, I'm going to open up your door and I'm going to.
Yeah. Remember, I told you already. I told you this was going to happen. I told you it wasn't just about immigrants. I told you that this was going to inevitably go after American citizens as well. And a lot of people didn't realize this. Hopefully this is a fucking turning point. If you were confused about the process, if you genuinely thought that like ICE was there to like apprehend undocumented migrants or whatever, and not simply to do state repression, okay? At the behest of our fucking pedophilic, monstrous president, who was also simultaneously defending his pedophilic elite cabal buddies and himself from scrutiny from the Epstein files, okay? Not only that, but also defending the nation state of Israel every fucking step of the way, too. So just, remember that. Understand that. This has nothing to do with immigrants. The reason why they did this, the reason why they fucking did this is so that, you could justify it to yourselves by thinking, oh, the scary immigrants are doing this. Front page of Reddit is a thread posted by Epstein's calling him Nostradamus because he predicted this, since no one else could have even predicted something like this would happen. Yeah, just let him farm some fucking brownie points here so that people forget that he, procured CSAM from an underage girl. Okay? It's Reddit. They bought everything. It's pathetic. Who cares? Yeah, he also actively came after me for calling this shit out for years, okay? So, remember that. For years and years and years, I've been talking about how if the Democrats don't actually take a strong oppositional voice against this anti-immigrant sentiment, it will eventually be weaponized against them, okay? I did say that, and it did happen. We know, but so many don't get to see it because your W's never get posted in these places. Who cares? Fuck Reddit. What are you going to do? Put it on fucking TikTok. All of those people yelled at me over and over again. They said I was actually fucking, trying to get Donald Trump to win because I kept urging Kamala Harris to take an oppositional stance to the anti-immigrant sentiment. And not only that, but I also said that eventually once this administration won, once the Trump administration won on this anti-immigrant sentiment, they would sick ICE in these neighborhoods. And once ICE was in these neighborhoods, I also said that people would start turning on ICE. People would start realizing that this was actually dangerous, that they didn't actually sign up for this. All of those things have happened. Okay? Just because other people on the internet are oblivious that these were my takes and people were yelling at me over these fucking takes for years and years does not change that reality. Okay? I said it over and over again. Nobody fucking listened. And unfortunately, those who could have potentially listened were too predisposed with drama, hearing everything that I was saying from a negative filter. But if you want to show others those takes, Nostradamus-style takes, you can do so. You can do it on TikTok.
Hit you out. And that's when the shooting happened, and the car took off, and then it sped off and crashed right into the cars.
Can you talk about the agent that was stepped in front of the car?
The way he was in the clear. There was another one at the front part of the car on the driver's side, and there's one right there by the door. that's opening, trying to get in the door. Then you have one that's in front of the car that was already coming from the side. And he was just getting clear because he already see that, hey, this person could take off, but, maybe I'll try to, intimidate you with my gun.
Can you make a stream banner every time a moment like this happens with if you want to see tomorrow's news today line? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. The Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers. If you want to see tomorrow's news today, you come to the Piker Broadcasting Service, PBS. Oh, Kaya. Oh my God. Kaya got groomed, chat. Here's a moment of, here's a little brief moment of happiness. Hey, come here. Come here. Kaya. Come here. No, come here. Oh, you smell so much better. You were so smelly earlier. Sorry, I have to do this a little bit. I have to feel a little bit better when everything is fucking awful. Oh my God. You smell so good. My emotional support lapdog who's pushing me away. You guys can't hear her. She's kicking the ground right now because I'm scratching her back. Okay. All right, place. Oh my God. She just got groomed and she already has so much hair coming off of her. It's crazy. Okay, get down. This little lady has been shedding for like the past 2 months now. It's crazy. A little break from all the madness. A little Kaya break for you guys. Aren't we lucky to have dogs? The luckiest. Yeah. Victim has been identified from the Minnesota Star Tribune. Ice shooting victim identified as Renee Nicole Good, 37. Mother said her daughter is not part of anything like that at all, referring to protesters challenging ICE agents. Donna Ganger told the Minnesota Star Tribune that her daughter lived in the Twin Cities with her partner. Ganger declined to say whether she lived in Minneapolis. Is this the so-called Hamas that Americans like talking about? Yeah, I mean, everyone is Hamas, right? Anyone that opposes the government is Hamas because Hamas is a catch-all term for recipient of appropriate violence. That's so stupid that she was killed, Ganger said. After learning some of the circumstances from a reporter, she was probably terrified. Ganger said her daughter is not a part of anything like that at all, referring to the protesters challenging ICE agents. Renee was one of the kindest people I've ever known. She said she was extremely compassionate. She's taken care of people all her life. She was loving, forgiving, and affectionate. She was an amazing human being. Just drove past ICE protesters in my conservative-ass state of Indiana. The average person will not fall for the propaganda. There will be some, but you need to understand. Look at what Connor said to Asman. Oh, my goat. What did he say? Yeah, R.I.P. Bozo. Convinced the CIA replace Asmongold with an even stupider virgin during the Johnny Depp trial stream meta. ICE does not equal police dipshit. Snap out of this moronic grifting shit. Elon, if you read this, go heavier on the ketamine later. It makes it work better. Not cool showing close-ups. What are you talking about? Stop posting the faces of ICE agents. You are putting their lives in danger. You're fucking joking, right? This is a joke, right? I'm a fellow roach. I come in peace, just sniffing and crawling around sus. What? Where was the close-up of the ICE agent that I was showing the face of? I'm not going to ban that person, but... Oh, this one you mean? Are you talking about this one? This guy who fucking shot 37-year-old victim? Is that what you're talking about? The guy? Is that who you're referencing? Not only is he a public servant, but he's also a murderer. You know? One must ask the question why you are trying to defend a murderer here. You know? A cold-blooded murderer. We saw him do it. This part of the footage is from the same video that shows him murdering a woman in broad daylight. That's crazy. That's crazy that your first reaction to this is to be like, dude, you're putting these guys' lives in danger. What do you mean? Your life is in danger if you're ever around one of these fucking masked thugs of the state, dude. The hell? Who do you think is more dangerous? Random 37-year-old mom of a 6-year-old? Or guy who fucking murdered her? This is what Asman just said on stream. He can suck my dick. Regardless of who is driving the vehicle is dangerous of operated recklessly. Yeah, the vehicle actually became dangerous because this fucking dipshit shot the person operating the vehicle. Okay? You just know, Nadnaps, you are not a cop, for the record. You're not an ICE agent. You are more likely to be in a vehicle surrounded by cops than be the cop that you're fantasizing in this situation where you just like get a fucking what you consider to be a legal kill, you know? It's very sad and very pathetic for you to deep throat this fucking hard, you know? I do want to understand like where this mentality comes from though, you know? I genuinely cannot comprehend like this surf brain. I don't know. I don't understand it. We gave a gun to a bunch of guys who watched a recruitment ad during a football game and signed up for a 47-day orientation. Please react very calmly when they're shouting at you because they might get scared and start shooting off under pressure. They are saving our America. That's basically what it is. And these guys still see themselves in the shoes of the fucking ICE agent for some reason. He watches Asman, so he gets it from there. Pretty easy to explain. Yeah, but there's no point where you realize that like you are being propagandized so heavily. Like this is unironically causing you to develop peasant brain rot. You are behaving like a fucking serf. You are behaving not like a human being. You are advocating against your best interests here. I believe in you, chatter. I believe in you. I think you do have the capacity to see right from wrong in this situation. I think there is a moment here where you can fucking say, yeah, no, this was like straight up murder, you know? Yeah. Yeah, they get 47 days of training, dude. This is all the training ICE officers get before a government hands them weapons and tells them to go raise hell. 47 days. Academy training was shortened to 47 days. 3 officials told me the number picked because Trump is the 47th president. The HS officials said the training will run 6 days a week for 8 weeks. It's fucking insane. We gave them weapons, no training whatsoever, and we sicked them on our fucking streets, and they're unaccountable. And it seems like there are still some people who will defend them when they're murdering people in fucking broad daylight, dude. That is crazy. That is madness to me. Anyway, here, let's hear the witness talk about this.
And I'd heard horns pass through before as people follow ICE vehicles through the city, but they stayed. They kept going, and so I figured whatever was happening right outside. So I started watching through the window. And there was a red Honda Pilot, maroon. There were 2 people in fatigues, ICE agents, presumably. One was by the passenger side of the vehicle, one was by the driver's side of the vehicle. And there was a handful of black and white SUVs, license plates on some of them, front license plates removed, parked sort of kittywampus in the street. And I watched as a third person in full camo come and pull several times on the door handle, at which point the red vehicle reversed a few feet and started driving around, and the person who was by the driver's side originally, not the man who pulled on the door, but who was originally there, shot through the driver's side window 3 times, and the car drove down the street a little bit more and then swerved into a car and then ultimately
Okay. I think that's really all, because I'm not trying to get you to comment on that. You just saw this. Did you see an ambulance come? Did you?
An ambulance came a few minutes later. There was some delay getting the ambulance to the vehicle because of the number of ICE vehicles in the street, and sort of they slowly moved their SUVs and trucks out of the way. Somebody wearing a camo and a vest that just said police, I think they're ICE, but no identification. Grabbed an orange sort of OtterBox style case and ran up to the vehicle, and they pulled the person out and onto the boulevard before the ambulance got there.
When you saw it happen, was that vehicle still moving? Was it at all going towards an agent at that point? Or?
I mean, so the agents had been on either side, so they just backed up a few feet and then drove forward again. Somebody else said that the vehicle had been stuck in the snow a little bit. So they weren't driving at a person with any intention of hitting them. They were driving between
Good enough for me.
Hi, I'm Diana Macedo. Let's get right to breaking news. The U.S. military says it has now seized a second Venezuela-linked ship in international waters. U.S. Southern Command.
I'm not going to get into this yet. There's more that I want to cover on this. But first, we'll get to the 5. The demons over at the Fox and 5 talk about this issue. For people saying self-defense, how does shooting the driver of a car you're supposedly in front of you defend you? Sounds like it would make sure they hit you if they were dead. Exactly. That's why they shot him.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Right in the face! Get back!
This was the video shared with the HuffPost about the doctor that they stopped from actually entering. Federal agents blocked a man identifying himself as a doctor from reaching the woman killed by ICE in Minneapolis. A video shared with HuffPost shows. This is censored as well, so we can look at it.
Oh, check a pulse! No! Back up!
Like, there's literally a fucking doctor that comes in and says, I'm a doctor, let me check her pulse.
Can I go check a pulse? No! Back up! Now! I'm a physician!
Hey, listen, we understand. We got EMS coming. I get it. Just give us a second. We have medics on scene. We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they? How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor! You caught butter in the face! You killed my neighbor! How do you show up to work every day? How the do you do this every day? You're killing my neighbors, you're stealing my neighbors, what the man?
This exact situation has happened so many damn times that there's a case president up the wazoo for it. They're currently discussing it heavily in all the law spaces everywhere because it's an open and shut case. It's just, not only is it unjustifiable, but it is transparently illegal. We'll see what happens, I think, with this administration, if they can find like a favorable biased judge or something to put it in front of, but I don't see this. I mean, this is so indefensible, which is of course the reason why you see all of the dumbest motherfuckers, all the dumbest mouth breathing losers try to defend it. Like it's like the Derek Chauvin shit. I know it's been many years at this point, so like the bias has kicked in, but instantly after the Derek Chauvin situation, the George Floyd situation, there were even a lot of cops that said this was completely unacceptable. Matt Walsh actually literally, and Ben Shapiro said it's totally righteous for this person to go to jail. I remember. Now, of course, years after the fact, they do propaganda as though they didn't fucking say that, but they did at the time. The majority of Americans were in favor of the Minneapolis Police Department burning down in the immediate aftermath of the George Floyd murder. If you want to understand the media environment and just like the overall sentiment in that moment, I know a lot of people look back at that and go, oh, shit went real crazy. Shit went real fucking crazy. I don't know how we let woke get out of control or whatever. But at the time, there was a poll that was conducted in the aftermath when they burned down the fucking Minneapolis Police Department, and the majority of Americans actually were in favor of it. Okay? No one took Derek Chauvin's side. Understandable that no one took Derek Chauvin's side. It was fucking unjustifiable. And this is another one of those moments where it will be a heel turn. It will be a tide shift. People will see it for exactly what it is. Who knows what they'll say 2 years down the line? But for the time being, in the immediate aftermath of a very naked act of aggression and atrocity such as this one, people are not going to defend it. Only the dumbest motherfuckers will defend it. Dumb motherfuckers like this one. Yeah, R.I.P. Bozo. They told her to get out of the car, and then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer and drive away. Comply with police and don't run them over. This angle shows it better. So, of course, the MAGA cult farmer try and justify it to an audience of powerless people who only feel strong when they identify with the admin doing this cruelty. Anyway, but it makes us scream but never fight. We need to actually fight back. But they'd no apparatus for us to self-defend. What are you talking about? People are already fucking fighting back. Yeah. 54% of Americans think burning down Minneapolis police precinct was justified after George Floyd's death. Okay? I'm telling you right now, people are going to see this, and they already are, and they're going to recognize that this was a 37-year-old woman in a fucking Honda Pilot getting shot in broad daylight by a fucking psychopathic ICE agent that shouldn't have been there to begin with, that shouldn't have behaved like that to begin with, at a time when like the ICE's unpopularity is at its peak. 47 days of training. It's just it's a powder keg waiting to fucking explode. And then they turned around and denied care to the victim. They stopped a doctor that was there. It's a meme. What is a meme? I'm confused. What? The right-wing media ecosystem. Asmongold is literally talking about killing more people in Minnesota by using the Insurrection Act right now. This motherfucker is insane. Okay, what the
Any sympathy for that person?
100% agree with everything you said right now, but what's your idea of stomping them out?
Doesn't make any sense. Didn't you explicitly say she wasn't trying to run him over? Well, she was running him over, right? I mean, that's what matters, right? Whether she was trying to or not is kind of irrelevant. Like she knew that she would have run him over, and she just chose to do it anyway. What? I mean, is that really a big difference for you? Does that really matter to you? Like, I don't think it would matter to him if he's the one getting run over. I think it's going to be about the same. He's going to probably be paralyzed or dead, or have a massive injury that's going to fuck up his life. It's semantics. Yeah, you're arguing about semantics.
I said, what are you talking about? He walked away.
I don't know enough about what happened, about the shooting. No, it's justified, and the video alone seems not at all justified. Yeah, it definitely is. 100% is. In soccer, if you kick someone in the head, whether it's on purpose or not, you're getting a red card.
You're fucking R-word.
And, whether it's, manslaughter and all about perceived threat, yeah, exactly. She was probably scared that her actions had consequences and tried to speed away, but at the end of the day, regardless of the politics, right or wrong, just or unjust, the person's life was ended in a less than ideal manner, and the ripple will be lasting. Good. Maybe other people will pay attention to it, and they won't do what she did. It'll set an example for them.
Do what? Be in a fucking car around ICE agents? What do you mean? They won't do what they did.
What I think needs
Also,
to happen,
people can't say I'm obsessed because he's going through all of my fucking, what do you call it? Mentions on Twitter here.
Well, too bad. Now you dead. And anyway, why even comment if you don't know what the fuck is going on? Trust me, a lot of people like doing that. Bro, you're saying things should be resolved with words and not actions regarding civilians, but you agree with governments doing it. I understand the power argument, but it feels kind of hypocritical. No, it doesn't, because the actions that are decided on are voted by the public. So basically, you're talking about vigilante justice, which takes you're talking about the consent of vigilante justice, which takes the consent of one person, versus the consent of the government, which
Go
takes
to Minneapolis right now and
the
stream
actions of
what
the government,
happens.
which takes
I will
the
be
consent
doing
of a
that
democracy.
to the Asmongold chatter.
Do you understand what the difference is? The Elon ratio? Yeah, she tried to run people over. Exactly. Yeah, it's so obvious.
Ratio. Again, Elon Musk owns the fucking website. This is the only thing they have. They have no confidence in their own opinions. So they have to rely on fake ass fucking bullshit. Oh, I can't believe the billionaire who bought his own social media platform is fucking boosting his own posts in an effort so that all these other people can feel righteous when they have no defense for their positions. Do you see what it is? They can't defend the positions on the virtues of what people can see and what people are thinking, so they have to lean into how popular they are. Okay, Jesus, you're delusional as fuck, man. I'm not the delusional person here. I'm not the one who's justifying someone getting fucking assassinated in broad daylight by an untrained dipshit who was power tripping. You are. Kaya, what are you doing? What are you doing over there?
That's what I would say more than anything. They'd say stuff like, we deported them to heaven, stick people. Yeah, exactly. And so the fact is that anybody saying this J.D. Vance calls for Tim Walz to resign, where is this here? And Frey and Walz want to riot. They want to distract from the fraud so badly they'll destroy the city. I don't think that's going to happen, if you want me to be honest. I find it to be very unlikely. Let's see here.
47 days of training as police officer roleplay. These fuckheads are power tripping LARPers. Yeah. I mean, let's see what he says about this.
Feel strong when they can identify the admin as doing cruelty, pathetic, weak, expected. Of course, right? And
of course, right?
Crying, getting mad about it. He's been tweeting about this a lot. You can say this as much as you want, but it's very obvious that she was accelerating the vehicle when he was directly in front of it. He was. She would have run him over. She would have run him over. Everybody knows not to run away and speed away in a vehicle when the police are trying to detain you. Like, it's not even a question. Everybody knows this.
What is it, Zach?
I don't even know, like...
I said,
use your eyes. Just
look at it. She was not trying
to
run him over. You are wrong in coping.
Hassan's watching you? Well, I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, I'm great content. I think that makes sense.
I'm great content.
I mean, look, everybody's trying to look and see, talking about me, what I think, etc. It's very normal. Like, I'm used to it at this point. Of course.
Here, I'll do something that he
She was
does.
not trying to run him over. You're wrong. Oh, he's in chat. Hassan is in chat again. What a surprise. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. She was not trying to run him over. You are wrong in coping. What would you have done in this situation when the police officers told you that you had to get out of the car? What would you have done?
De-escalate and talk to her instead of immediately trying to de-escalate and talk to her instead of immediately,
as usual,
trying to open,
all right,
trying to force open the door. This wasn't appropriate.
Just give it a minute.
By
it's all right.
law enforcement standards at all. These guys
de-escalate
are
and talk to her instead of immediately trying to force
as
open the door.
shit, hopped up.
It wasn't appropriate by law
on
enforcement.
fumes
That's not what I
and
asked.
no
So if the police come up to you
accountability.
and they say to stop the vehicle and get out, what would you do?
I told you already.
What would you do? It's very simple.
Once again, he's not hearing what I'm saying.
Just a minute. Let me put some other music on.
I already told you the appropriate way
The guys are untrained,
of
hopped up on
dealing
fumes. I
with
told you
this
already.
By law, LEO
De-escalate and talk to her.
standards.
No. I'm not asking. Maybe he's confused. I'm saying if
Maybe
you were in
he's
the woman's
confused.
shoes, if you were the one driving the car, what would you have done if you were in her situation and you were the one driving the car?
I would have driven away.
I'm not talking as the
as
officer.
well, just as she was trying to do. Many people would have done the same. She was clearly
I
trying
told you already the appropriate way
to
of doing this by the LEO standards.
drive away.
You have. You've told me multiple times, but you haven't said what you would do. Because you know the answer to that, and it's obvious. You would have gotten out of the car like a normal person, and you would have said, okay, I'm going to comply with the police.
The person
That's what
who
you would have done.
has
But you don't
power
wanna answer
and
that because it paints her in a bad
responsibility
light.
to de-escalate is the LEO in this situation.
I would have driven away as well. Oh, he said, oh, you would have driven away as well, just as she was trying to do. Many people would have done the same. She was clearly trying to drive away. The person in power has the responsibility to de-escalate and do the LEO. Listen, guys, anybody in the Assange chat, listen, I'm going to say this.
All right, let's hear it.
Please, guys, do not take this advice. This is such a bad idea. I promise you. Hassan's got a lot of money. He's got tons of money. He can afford this. It's okay.
I can afford being shot in the face? What the fuck are you talking about?
No. Again, we've seen this clip again, and there it is. Yes, obviously they hit him. Yeah, let's not even get into that.
You can
Please,
keep
guys,
posting
do
this
not take his
5-pixel
advice.
video
If a
for
law enforcement
coke
officer
all
tells
you
you to
want,
stop the vehicle and to,
this
get out of the car,
dude
do not
clearly
randomly drive
had
away.
no
you
right
will ruin
to
your life.
shoot her.
They're going to find you. They'll run your plates. They're going to arrest you.
Comply
You're going to have to go
or
to court.
die
You're going to go to jail.
always
Potentially.
with
Maybe you won't.
Asman
It will fuck
is-
up your whole life. Do not do this. Yeah, sorry. Comply or die, always W. Okay, you're getting untimed out, all right?
Is there...
You keep posting a 5-pixel video
is
for Cope all
there
you
an
want. The dude clearly had no
instance
right to shoot her. Okay.
Where
Can somebody
you
find a
don't
video and we'll see about this.
automatically defend
I'll see if I can find a video that's like more
law
zoomed
enforcement, automatically defend police
I'm gonna see if
kills.
this is it or not.
ICE kills.
No, it's. I've got to find the one that's closer, and then we can look at it. It's on the look. Yeah, I had
ICE
it open.
has
I don't know where
no
it is again.
legal authority to even.
Is there an instance where you don't
detain
automatically defend ICE kills?
American citizens?
Yeah, I would say if
by
they're
the
not
way,
trying to kill the officer,
learn
I
the
would defend it.
law.
Yeah, sure. I'd say I wouldn't defend it. Yeah. ICE has no legal authority to ever even detain American citizens, by the way. Learn the law.
It's true, by the way.
As far as I know, it's against the law to try to run over somebody.
You don't know.
It's
You
against the
can
law to run
change
somebody over.
the convo.
Now, I don't know about that.
All you want.
But I think it is.
Your chatters should learn and assert.
You can change the convo
their
all you
rights
want, like you did.
Instead of.
And so anyway, no, it's very
defending
obvious. How do you? And also, here's another thing.
ICE
I'll ask Hassan one more
brutality
question.
And
How do you justify
criminality.
that she wasn't trying to run him over when the wheels were spinning forward and he was in front of the car? How do you justify that?
I can tell you, but you only favor this dynamic
The wheels were
where
spinning. He was
you
directly
can
in front of the car.
control
Slow-mo
the
video. Is this it?
convo.
Let me see if I can find it.
Once again, we're just going to keep doing this
I don't know if
until
this
one
is a good
day he
version or
goes,
not.
all right, you know what?
I can tell
I'll
you
have a
that
conversation
you
with
only
him.
favor this dynamic when you can control the conversation.
He
Yeah, obviously.
wasn't in front
Yeah, of course,
of
that's why I'm
the
doing it.
car. It's irrelevant to try and
I mean,
engage in
It's a big
hypotheticals
secret. Like, yeah, obviously.
because you can't.
Yeah, that
engage
video isn't
with
very
what
good. It's not.
actually
Damn it! I'm trying to
took
remember which one I had
place.
open.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, because I had one before.
You
He wasn't in
try
front of the
and
car.
Use the far
It's relevant. Try to engage in hypotheticals.
away
Okay.
angle.
Let me see if I can find the video. Give me a minute.
You can't find the video,
So-
really?
Do you think that he was in front of the car in this frame?
Show the video, Asmin.
Let me see
Why
if this is
do
it.
you
Was he in front
try
of the car
to
in this
hit
frame or not? Show the video. Oh, I am. I'm about to
frames?
show the video.
Show the video.
Yeah, I think this might be it.
Show the video. Slow motion.
Just give me one
and
second. I'm trying to see if
walk
this is it.
us Step by step. Show the wheels.
Okay, this isn't a very good angle. I had a better angle before, but we'll
turning
use
around.
Okay.
Turning.
So,
to
and
the
by
right.
the way,
if someone
actually, you know what? Before I show
was
the video,
trying to
I will show the
kill
video. We're going to look at it in slow motion.
the agents,
But was he in
their
front of the car or not?
wheels would turn left, not right.
Was he in front of the car or not? And we'll show it.
Show the
Show the
video,
slow
slow motion,
motion
and walk
and
us step by
walk us
step.
step
Show
by
the wheels
step.
turning
Show
to the
the
right.
wheels
If someone
turning
was
to
trying
the
to kill
right.
the agents,
If
their
someone
wheels
was
would
trying to
turn
kill the
left, not
agents,
right.
their wheels would have turned to the left or the right. I don't think that she was
Why
trying to
are-
kill the agent. I think that she didn't care whether she
Oh!
hurt the agent in the process of her escaping.
Oh, so you don't think she
Does that make
was
sense?
trying to kill the agent? Because that's not what you were saying earlier.
This is the video. Is that it? Let me see if I found it.
The exact opposite of what you've been
Let me make sure if this
saying.
is the right one.
Got it. Dude, that's crazy. Even in a fucking chat, even in a chatting
think
dynamic
this might be it.
where he controls the narrative to the best of his ability, he immediately folds.
Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, yeah, we can use this one. This one's fine. This is a better one. Okay, well, let me answer. Let's answer the question again.
Asmin fold.
Let's see. Is there an answer of whether it is Asmon fold? You know the memes. Oh, so the exact opposite of what you're saying. Even got it. So
love
you're
that-
saying that
I love that he literally that has the one frame where she is done putting the car in reverse before she moves the wheels to the right. Okay, this frame either is completely doctored or is the one moment where you don't see the yellow in the rear lights. Okay, that's the only time, and he won't show the video. He still won't show the video for some reason.
police after they told her to stop. I don't think that's a very good argument. He muted me. Now he won the argument. See, it feels good, right? I bet he feels good about this. Show the. Oh no, now okay. Show the video. All right. We're gonna watch the video. Here we go. Let's watch it. We're gonna watch this together. Okay. And I'm gonna put it right here, and then I'm gonna put it at 0.25. Okay.
Okay. She's already.
That way we can go frame by frame.
She's backing up. She's reversing. Even when she's reversing, she's angling away from the cops. That's when the wheels are turned to the left.
So you can see very clearly they tried to get into the car. And there's an officer, by the way, I want you guys to keep in mind, there's an officer here that you can't even see. That's how, I'll make it full screen. Okay. So there's an officer right here that's not even in the frame because of how in front of the car he is. And he's trying to move. Yes, the car is in reverse. And you can see that the light right here is in reverse because the car is moving backwards.
She waved them by, was
Somebody's
in
leaning
the
another one?
process
Sorry, I'm getting
of
distracted.
leaving, when
I've seen
the
that.
first
That one's a little
ICE
bit. Yeah, actually,
agent
that one's a pretty good. That's a better quality.
tries
We're not
to-
going to look at this
Oh
one yet.
my God! Oh my God! He can't fucking watch the video.
you can
Just
see it right
watch
here.
it.
Let's go.
Just watch it. You are so bad at fucking just. Come on, dude.
Okay,
play
so
the
watch
vid.
this wheel, and you can see very clearly.
Oh, while it's
the light
reversing.
turns off.
Okay.
You see, the
and
light
then
turns
which way
off,
do the wheels
which
turn?
means that she shifted gears.
Which
Light
way do
turns
the
off.
wheels turn?
Okay.
That's the last frame where the wheels are turned left.
Circle the guy in the front. Yes. Okay. And then so we see the guy in the front is right there. There he is, and he's coming over to here. All right.
Are no longer
We're gonna play it again.
turning left.
And you can see at this
when
point
she makes
now she's
a
revving
move
the engine
away.
So
from the
he's in
agents.
front of the car. He's standing directly in front of the car. She's revving the engine. And
She's
he can
not
hear
doing
the
that.
wheels
That's
turning.
not true. She's
and
not
he's
revving
in
the
front
engine.
of the car. Right
She's
now,
not
he is
revving
in
the
front
engine
of
at
the car.
all. She is slowly
No brake lights.
reversing
Yes, there's no brake
and then
lights, as you can see here.
slowly putting it in drive and moving the wheels to the right.
And then you'll see
if she
right
was
here,
trying
the
to,
wheels are turning with the
if
officer
she was
who
trying
is
to
directly in front of the
run
vehicle.
them over like you
Directly
suggested,
in front. You see those wheels turning right
she'd
there?
turn the wheels to the left.
And not so good.
Wait, what are they saying? Caught in 4K? Are they stupid? Do
Keep
they not
playing it? Yeah, I
understand
will.
what they're looking at?
Okay, now I'll play it all the way through.
She's not
So
revving.
you can see right there. He
the
can see and hear, right?
engine,
That she's trying
you
to pull
fraud.
forward. And so he gets out of the way
This
so
is
she doesn't
why
run him over.
You won't play
And then he shoots her.
the vid uninterrupted and
There
have
it is.
to add your commentary.
And too bad, huh? Too bad.
You
So that's
just
what I think happened. And also, here's another question. Let's engage. That's why you won't play the video uninterrupted. Okay, all right, fine. I'm going to play the video uninterrupted, okay? Here. Go ahead.
keep showing it. It's so crazy. It's so fucking crazy that he had to literally act as though. And also, the audio's off too. So he has to be like, oh, they're revving the engine. She was never revving the engine. This is a lie. Think critically. I like that he's not watching it, by the way. Like, this is the whole point. She takes it off of reverse and she starts moving the wheels to the right. If she's trying to kill these agents in the way that Asmongold was suggesting, she would not have done that. Guy takes out his gun. He's basically on the side of the fucking... The volume is on, chatters. He muted the video. First shot on the side of the windshield, and then second and third shot from the side window.
Completely uninterrupted. No commentary. I wasn't even in the room. What's the excuse now? She was never revving the engine. This is a lie? So what happens when you put your foot on the gas?
Went forward after moving her wheels to the
Then
right.
why'd the wheels turn?
Away from the agents.
What do you do? Why are you doing this to yourself? What are you doing?
Keep coping.
Like,
you can keep coping
I don't even
and make it seem like
understand
that's not the case. You can keep coping and
Yeah,
making
maybe
it seem like this is not the
automatic
case.
Tesla? Is
but
that
this
it?
is a lost argument at this
He's
point.
got
And
a
that's
Tesla,
why he
he
has to
doesn't
be like,
understand.
oh, this is, come on. Come on.
God. She went forward after moving her wheels to the right, away from the agent. She did. You're right.
Trying
Sure
to
did. And I don't think that she
kill
was
the
trying. Her main
agents
goal
like
was to
you
get away from the scene of the
suggested.
crime. Which, by the way, is
She
also
would
another
have
felony. Okay,
turned
it's against
her
the law. You can't
wheels
have people running away from the police. But
to the left. Oh, now you're
she
changing the
wasn't
argument.
trying
Oh,
to
now the
run
goalposts
officer
are
over.
shifting.
She just thought that it was okay if she did it. That's it. Yeah, she's fleeing the scene, and
got
she ran
fucking
the
timed
officer
out
over
again.
in the process of doing that. Oh, Jesus, got timed out again.
Goalposts.
Oh, now the goalposts are moving?
harder. Goalposts moving so
Okay.
hard. ICE
Let me ask you a
agents
question.
are about to
You've
shoot
asked me
it.
a lot of questions. You're in my chat.
Goalposts
Should
moving
an
so hard. ICE agents
officer
are about to shoot it.
be able to defend himself from a threat of deadly violence? If he believes his life is in danger, should he be able to respond with deadly force?
Absolutely not in this case. His life clearly wasn't
When we
in
started ICE about to shoot
danger.
it? Well, of course not, because I
That's
wouldn't
the
move the
point.
goalposts in there. Absolutely not in this case. So, okay, so there are no cases where ICE agents should be able to defend
didn't
themselves
say that.
whenever they're being, basically attacked.
I didn't say that.
Because, and the reason why I
said
asked Hassan this question,
in
here's the
this
reason why I didn't
case,
say that.
his
Okay,
life
all right, you didn't say that. That's fine.
in danger.
Yeah, all right, fine. So, should an ICE agent be able to defend himself when his life is in danger?
In this case,
I didn't
his
ask about
life
this case. I
wasn't
know what
in
your opinion is
danger.
about this case. We all know that. You've tweeted about it 10
Therefore,
times. Israel did it. We get it.
it's irrelevant.
I'm talking about in general.
I love that he's just like, oh, well, what about some cases where his life is in danger? I'm saying it's not in this case. That's
in
the
this
whole
case,
point.
His life was in danger, therefore it's relevant. The reason why I'm asking you this, I don't know why you keep getting timed out, but please stop one man spamming. So the reason why I'm asking you this is very simple. It's because I think that you're exercising a bias against ICE agents. I think that you don't like what's happening and the ICE agents that are out there doing it in general.
I don't like
and I think that you
when
don't want
ICE
to admit
agents
that an ICE
kill
agent should be able to defend
random
himself if there's something that's happening that endangers their life.
neighbors.
But you don't want to answer that question
Yes.
and acknowledge that because you
I don't
actually,
like
in my
when
opinion, this is
ICE
my opinion, right? This is what I
agents
think, is that
who
I think
are
that you agree with this happening
untrained
and you think it's okay
kill
because
random
you don't like ICE.
Americans. Why do you?
That's what I think you're doing. I don't like when ICE agents kill random 30-year-old neighbors. See, this works very well on Twitter.
I don't like when ICE agents. Why do you?
Why do you? Why do you like when ICE agents kill random Americans? I don't like when people flee from the scene of the crime and try to and run somebody over in the process. I mean,
The
like
only
you can go back and forth about
time
this over
when
and over
this-
and over, and you can make these emotional plays. But this is what I think you're doing. I
What
think that
crime?
you're just trying to come up with a
What
permission structure
scene
that basically
the
justifies
crime?
people being violent
Explain
and
what
aggressive
crime
and dangerous
Oh, dude,
to ICE.
what crime? What crime? What scene of the crime? What's the scene of the crime? What crime? What crime? What crime? What crime? What crime? What is the scene of the crime she was fleeing? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. What was the scene of the crime she was fleeing?
What is this here? What senses of the crime? I don't know. I don't. That's crazy.
What was the scene of the crime she was fleeing?
That's crazy. What was the scene of the crime she was fleeing? The police were trying to detain her. She was trying to block the road, as far as I know, and the police were trying to detain her and stop
as
her.
you know.
You think you should just be able to drive away from the police?
They are ICE.
Obstruction of justice. Yeah,
They
why was she
don't
there?
have a legal ground to
Failure to comply? Yeah, you have to comply with a police
They are
officer.
ICE. They don't have legal
Very
grounds.
obviously, you have to comply with the
to
police
stop
officer.
someone and detain them when they are American citizens.
She turned the wheels right when she saw the officer pull out the weapon, not before. If the officer
She
did not pull out the gun,
absolutely
she may not have turned out her
had
wheels at all. Maybe, I don't know.
The right
They are ICE.
to
They don't have
leave.
legal grounds to stop someone and detain them when they're American citizens. So you think ICE can't detain anybody, even people that are trying to actively block them?
It's technically a legal gray
Like I don't know if that's
is
true or not. I have no idea. I'm not going to
weaponized
argue with you about
by
this, right? I have no
ICE,
idea.
But yes,
But here's, I think it's probably
It's
not true.
literally
but I'm not going to
not-
go and look this up and figure it out. I'm sure we can make. Listen,
But
how about
yes,
this?
look
If what
it
you're saying
up.
isn't true,
Why
we can
are
make
you
a little
running
clip.
your
You've seen
mouth
the clips. You get a lot of views
if
on my
you
clip channel.
don't
You
know?
gotta keep this up. You're doing a great job. And so we'll add in the little law, and it'll
Why
say
are
right
you
there where it is.
doing
it's
it
technically a legal gray area.
again?
Why are you running your mouth? You don't know? Because it's obvious.
Just like when
It's obvious
you
that you
were
shouldn't try to run
wrong
over a police officer when you're
about
escaping the scene. It's obvious that you shouldn't
Mahmoud
do that. You have multiple police
Khalil.
officers trying to stop you, and then you turn the vehicle around and you start trying to drive in a direction, and you accident. Why are you doing it again? Like you're wrong about Mahmoud Khalil? I wasn't wrong. But you were right. They didn't do anything about that.
Yes, you
they
were.
Didn't. I still think they should deport him.
He
I do. I still
has
think
a
they should
legal
deport him. And I am mad
right
at the
to
government
free
for making
speech.
you right. Because I think they should
Whether
have absolutely
a
deported
green
him.
card
100%.
recipient
I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the government.
American citizen.
Was a joke.
1A.
What about
oh,
ism?
God,
Yeah,
I got fucking.
that's not even
I
the
got
point, though.
timed out again.
But anyway, please ban the chatter.
You guys are now
it's
realizing
fine.
why
Oh,
Asmongold
geez,
doesn't
got
want to have a
timed out
conversation
again.
with me, right?
Yes, you were. He has the
1A
legal right to free speech, whether a green card or American
1A
citizen.
is a right.
Well,
for
that's
all.
not what I read.
You were
That's
wrong.
not what I read.
You
yeah,
didn't
I don't know. It's not what I saw. I saw it pretty
anything.
plain and simple that you're not able to do that. And it said that the state of fucking what was it the head of state, or was it a fucking I'm trying to remember what the title was. But anyway, the Secretary of State. Yeah, Secretary of State, sorry. And the Secretary of State can remove somebody for whatever reason. Yeah. And so anyway, what is October 7th?
Not
Never forget.
on
Well, that's something
1A
different. Physical interference,
grounds.
touching, blocking, or physically impeding an ICE officer's lawful duty can lead to arrest for obstruction or assault. Well, obviously that's the case.
He tweeted
Here
the
we
woman
go
tried
again.
to
From
run
the
over the
chart,
ICE agent. Now he
these
says he
actions
wasn't
can
trying
justify
to. Yeah.
detention or arrest under such statutes: assaulting,
Why
resisting, or impeding federal
did you
officers, obstructing
tweet
federal processes, harboring or
that the
assisting
ICE
unlawful
agent-
presence.
Why did you tweet that
Okay.
the woman was trying to run over the ICE
First Amendment is
agent
a right for all. You were
first,
wrong. You didn't read anything.
And
well,
now,
I did.
And now you're
I did.
claiming,
And in my
that
opinion,
she
this is my opinion, not the law. This is my opinion.
driving
I don't think we need to
away.
be importing foreign agitators from other countries to
Now
bring
he's
their
backpedaling into
conflicts
talking about
and
ICE
start
agents having a
trouble in
general
our
case of
country.
defense.
I think we already
Exactly.
have people like you. You're a citizen. You're a problem, and I think that we have our hands full
Asmonfold.
dealing with you, and we don't need to import more people that think this already.
Okay,
we
being a
already
chatter
have
is
a
fun.
bunch of problems already. I don't want to import more problems.
I'm realizing that backtracking is fun.
Is this crazy
This
for me to
woman
say? I don't think it
was
is.
a citizen, by the way.
Jesus. Okay, but anyway, we saw the wheels turn. It is undeniable. We'll look at it one more time. Okay,
Yeah,
we're going
the
to look at it one more
wheels-
time. You can see right here the brake lights
wheels
go off,
turn
and then the officer
away.
is still right in front of the vehicle. The wheels are now turning, and the police officer has to get away from the front of the vehicle because if he's in front
The
of the
police
vehicle,
officer
she
was
would have
away
run
from
him
the
over
vehicle.
while she
The
was fleeing the
police-
scene because she was being
The ICE
detained
agent,
by
not
the
a
police
cop. The
officers
ICE
because she was trying to
agent,
impede a federal
not a cop,
investigation by
was
using her
not
car to
in
block the road.
front. That's why
And she got
he was unharmed.
Shouldn't have done it.
You can literally
Shouldn't have
see
done
it in front of you in broad daylight.
Yep. Don't know what else to say. Yeah, and can you show us on repeat, reverse lights and off and accelerating? Oh, here we go. Yep. Yep.
Wheels turning. Wheels turning. Wheels turning. Wheels turning.
Let me actually slow
He's
it down.
not in
Let's slow
front
it
of
down
the
a little bit.
car. He's on the side of the front of the car. Okay?
Oh, man. That's crazy.
There's a
And he
reason
can hear
why
those wheels, by the way.
you
He can hear the wheels of the car.
There's a reason why you
like,
retreat
'cause he's
into
right next to the car. Anybody
a
would know that.
General self-defense argument for
it's right there.
All ICE agents because
He claims he's not in front.
you
but
know
on the side in front.
she
Yes, of
was
course.
moving
He can hear the
away
shifter too. Maybe he can. I
when
don't know.
she
The audio isn't
got
good enough to be able to tell that, but I would assume he
shot.
probably could. I mean, it seems like kind of an older car, so it's not going to be completely quiet. So yeah, there
This
it
is fun. This is fun. I realize that I realized why all the Asmongold
We'll see
fans
who's right
come
when
in
the
here.
body cam comes out. That's true too. I do think they should have body cams. I think they should absolutely have body cams, and they should make sure that anybody that's doing this, they're gonna evaluate, they're gonna look
The
through
corner of the
everything.
car
for
is the
sure.
side of the car, left side.
There's
Be
a
more
reason why
specific.
you
He's not in
retreat to your
front for
general
fuck's
self-defeat-
sake. Oh my
defense
God, his
argument
own
for all
fans
ICE
are
agents,
seeing
because
it.
you know she was moving away when she got shot. Okay, I mean, I looked at it right there in front of there. It was so obvious.
We can
It's
see
so
it.
obvious. Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe moving away by
You're
the
doing
wheels
that.
turning in his immediate direction.
Anyone
just give it up, man.
who doesn't have Trump's
just give it up.
dick lodged down their throat.
Watch the new angle. I'll see if there's a. You're doing that?
can
Okay.
see
Somebody did say there's
what's
another angle. What
happening.
is this? This is another version of it? All right, let me see what this version is.
We've already seen this. You've
I don't
already
know
shown
if
this.
this one doesn't seem like it's new.
That's not new. You replied to it. Oh,
This is a higher quality. This is why it's so important to comply with the police, by the way. And so if you ever have the police that try to detain you, or they tell you to stop or to get out of the vehicle,
Is there a point where Asmund Fold will not defend police brutality? I genuinely wonder.
Yourself, I know what the good idea is.
This is not even a police, by the way. This is an ICE agent.
You're gonna have a bad time.
The argument always is like, well, cops are like gods. They get to do everything they want.
You can, and if it was a wrongful detainment, settle it in court. It's always better to settle something like this in court than have to get shot or something like that happen.
Okay.
Exactly. You think you're
Except
wrongfully detained, you can take it to court, use the system as it was
This
intended.
ICE
Absolutely.
agent
So
killed
there you go.
someone. He's
And,
in
what is
the
this, your
wrong.
dad hated you, wishing
but
you
you
died,
won't
wishing you weren't born,
admit
bro.
it. So you keep talking about best
Bro,
practices.
You need to get help
to
What are you
justify
doing?
it.
You're talking about my dad? Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you? Seek help, man. Seek help. That's bad.
Hassan alt account found. Oh,
wow,
really?
what a
Coping?
weirdo.
I've never fucking talked
What a
poorly
weirdo.
about Asmund
Who
Dad.
does this? Who says this stuff?
I've never talked poorly about Asmund Dad. That's fucking bullshit. And I know he's farming this. I know he's
From
farming
every
it.
angle. It's obvious that's what's happening.
I know he's
I don't
farming
see
this
how
in a
anyone
way to garner sympathy for himself. Asmund Dad was literally in this chat. His last words in this chat was straight up wishing me a fucking happy birthday. Okay?
Everybody's mad at me for this. What a surprise. And again, what's funny about this is that all of these people, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference at all. They're still going to do the deportations. You're still going to keep crying about it. And there's never going to be an outcome that's going to make you happy. That's it. And I think they should bring in the National Guard if they have to, bring in the military, invoke the Insurrection Act if they have to. They've got to do whatever
The
they need to
paradigm
do
always
to
turns into cope. The left is coping. The liberals are being dominated. Oh, it's not going to change anything. The libtards are going to be dominated. Again, like that's it. Because he can't defend it on the fucking virtues. So he can't defend the situation directly on the virtues. So he has to immediately go into maximum cope mode and be like, well, libtards are going to get owned regardless of what people say and do. That's it. You do that when you've lost the fucking argument. Okay? Even if I'm supposed to entertain this on like the bloodless amoral perspective of like which way the fucking wheels were turning, when I cannot believe that that's what it gets to, by the way. That's what it turns into when you have conversations like this one. And you can't argue on the actual fucking facts of the matter. You have to turn into, when you can't just like, stand on the principles, stand on the arguments, you have to turn back to like a partisan perspective. You're supposed to be a centrist. Be a fucking centrist. If you're an actual centrist, if you are an actual fucking centrist, what you're supposed to do in the situation is recognize right from wrong. But you're not an actual centrist. That's it. For all the Asmund Fold fans out there, he's not. The only time where he actually relegates back to a centrist position is when something is so incredibly fucking unjustifiable that his own audience starts turning on him. Only then does he try to come up with like a more reasonable take. That's it. That's it. That's it. He just straight up, you criticized the Ashley Babbitt shooting on January 6th? I did. I literally did. Isn't this incredibly unjustifiable? It is. But he is going to farm it as though it is justifiable for as long as he can until his audience turns on him, because he is audience captured, ironically enough, so he can keep maintaining this like supposed centrist presence. And for the longest time, when he used to do this kind of echo chamber propaganda in his echo chamber, it didn't actually reach other people. This is part of the reason why I started taking a look at what Asmongold was saying, because when it's just me alone covering whatever new thing he's stating, Okay? That's not enough. Because a lot of people are negatively propagandized against whatever I have to say. But now more and more people are paying attention to it. So his bad takes, his like first his first glance approach, his first glance like eating Trump's dick takes get highlighted, so he can't present himself as a centrist any longer. And the more people realize he is a fucking biased hack that is going to defend whatever this administration is doing, only to then turn around and maybe like change his perspective after the fact, where he can like control the narrative on Reddit, he can control the narrative on his YouTube pages. Only then does he actually get away with this shit. This is the reason why I am taking note of what he's saying and showing you the inconsistencies, especially in a moment like this. You might find it to be stupid. You might find it to be, you might find it to be stupid. You might find it to be inconsistent. You might find it to be irrational. You might find it to be like not worthy of your time. But there's a reason why I'm doing this. The reason why I'm doing this is because people need to see that he is just straight up deluding people into thinking that he actually has a rational, reasonable point of view here, when this is a clear-cut case where the ICE agent is engaging in a totally unlawful, lethal action, and he's defending it. Yeah, yes, Your Honor. She was trying to run me over. That's why I had to shoot her 3 times through her side window. Exactly. I mean, fuck that guy who posted that. But also, yeah, that guy who literally has demanded that I get deported. Here's a recent video of ICE agents hitting someone with their car and laughing about it. Yeah, but when ICE does it, it's all right, dude. What do you mean?
Damn, this guy's good.